YouTube notification.
Everybody's looking forward to the weekend. So, resolution too high.
Oh boy.
I might have to stop and restart. Is it okay with you?
Of course.
Okay. Sorry for the little lapse in service there. Turns out Facebook. Oh no, Twitch is doing the crazy thing again. No, dude. Don't be doing that to me. Can't remember what I changed last time to fix that. It's showing up on YouTube too. Hey you guys, thanks for tuning in. Looks like there's a bit of a problem with the stream, so I'm going to stop and you might have to refresh when we come back in just a moment. Thank you. We're firing her up again, seeing if this one comes through okay. What do we got? Do we got the weird looking thing? Okay. Okay.
Ah, that's better.
That one's better. Cool. And now.
Less whacked out.
Does that mean it's partially whacked out?
It's just the right amount of whack. Just a touch of whack.
Yes, we're doing a little black and white, little moody. You got the blue shirt on, Aaron. I figured out how to change the camera settings to make it only blue show through. Very interesting and cool, of course. Okay, I'm going to... Come on, old boy. Let's see. It's always Facebook's fault that this doesn't work. I'm going to blame it on them. I'm not streaming there yet, so I can say that.
Yes, notice I got 2 out of 3 channels running.
Okay. Okay. Scarting? No, that's not a good scart at all. Okay, starting on Facebook. No. Friday streams. Okay, 1 second. Let me get these comments sorted out, and then we can get started. Hope you guys appreciate the artsy blue and black and white. Look at that.
We're moody like that. There we go. The face butt's working.
Yay!
I'm going to need 2 extra phones so I can check all 3 streams at once.
How long is this session planned to be? Usually we go about 4 hours.
But of course you're welcome to hang out for as much or as little of that as you want. So hopefully we structure this in a way that you get something out of it if you're here for half an hour, hour, or the whole time.
Yes, and the video will be posted on YouTube afterwards. Usually takes, after we're done, it takes half an hour or something to like process, and then it'll be up there for all future non-asynchronous viewing. Not non-asynchronous, but just asynchronous. Non-asynchronous would be synchronous.
Pro-asynchronous. Anti-non-asynchronous. Double negative.
Very true. And of course, trying to figure out how to get these comments over to you.
It's okay. It's just now start time, so we're good. As long as we start in the next minute, then you know, everything's good. Everything's cool.
We're all fine here now.
I would be interested to see the breakdown on an average live stream. How much time is spent in the setup and hold on, guys. Let me do this. Okay, let me fix that. Like, I wonder how much of an average stream that is. It's got to be like a couple minutes per stream, right? And the ones that I've watched, it's not like, boom, we're going. Not in your way. Awesome. Excuse me. All right, start throwing out some highs while we're doing this now. Let's see what we got. Hi, Burn Dog. Hi, Dave. Hi, Pernilla. Hi, Barbara. Hi, James. Thanks for coming by, guys. Yeah, hopefully this is interesting. Hopefully this is a good thing. Well, it'll be something regardless. I can say that for sure. This will be a thing. Whoa. Ooh. Ooh. Oh. Oh. Production value.
That's right. That's where you make the big bucks, baby.
That's right.
Okay. And I think we're ready to ride.
All right. Hi, Steven. Hi, Dwayne. Hi, Depinder. Alejandro. Sorry, we have we're using a thing that kind of merges some of the streams together. And so the stream thing I have, the background of the text is gray. And depending on where you're coming in from, the text is a dark blue that straight up disappears into the gray. So, Alejandro, I know who you are. I know who you are. No, I know who you are. But your name just kind of disappeared. You're a little odd bluish blob there. So, enough about that. How's everybody doing? Happy Friday. We made it. We made it to the end of the week. I wasn't sure I was going to make it a couple days there. I'll be honest with you. But knowing that I get to hang out with you guys made me like buckle down and get through. So
yeah, you got to get down on Friday. And that's what we're here to do.
that's right. It's time. So we're going to do some fun stuff today. Hopefully everyone's doing well. Hello from Switzerland, from Greece. Hey, Duff, how's it going? Canada. You guys are awesome. I love that we get to hang out in so many places all at once. I mean, it kind of still feels like Colorado no matter where we're hanging out, but it's good. It's a good thing. All right, we'll get rolling, but first we got to do what we've been doing. We're gonna hop into our best bus ever competition and just take a look at what we got here.
Best bus ever. Best bus ever. Best bus ever.
That was awesome. All right. Hello Sweden and India.
Oh yeah, I didn't get any.
London.
I didn't get enough time to work out sound effects. So some of you will probably be bummed out, but I might be doing just my own sound effects, like chanting like that, or maybe I'll get one of those clown honkers.
We didn't have a super solid topic, so he couldn't go source music or anything like that this time.
What does 3D Warehouse sound like? That's a great question.
That's kind of deep.
All right. Anyways, back to the best bus ever.
So we're up to like 10 entries now, which is awesome because I think, is the deadline Monday? What's the date today? Yeah, deadline's Monday. Whew.
Coming down to it, you procrastinators.
So this is it. You just if you haven't entered already, you get to spend your in America anyhow holiday weekend modeling in SketchUp. Yay! I don't know that we remembered that Memorial Day was Monday when we picked that as a deadline. Oops, oversight. Anyhow. Yeah, so we got some cool stuff here. I can't remember how many of these we looked at last time. I know some of these we looked at. This is cool.
Ah!
The dragon bus. That's some Transformer action going on there.
Hope they got the day off school. Is that a school?
Yeah, that's actually kind of interesting too. That our best bus ever competition ended when the school year is ending here. My kids had their last day yesterday.
School's out for summer.
Thank you very much. All right, we have a time-traveling, interdimensional traveling school bus here. That's an awesome one. There is if you guys don't know, there's a thread on the forum. If you go to our forum, forums.sketchup.com, you can search for best bus ever. And there's actually a lot of these are getting posted there in rendered images too. So pretty cool. Lots of blinking lights, shining stuff, that kind of thing. This is best bus or ugliest bus ever. I like it.
I wouldn't say that.
Some wood paneling and some bright pink. Looks like a winner to me.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
I mean, it's got to look. You want the bright colors so that you notice it. You're not going to run across the road playing ball or something like that.
That's
right. You're at the bus stop. You don't have to pay super close attention. You see that pink, ugliest bus ever.
You can't miss it.
Yeah.
This is a cool one. Double Mac mainline section.
Ooh.
All right.
This bus stops at all railroad Xings.
Very cool. And good train as well. I know who that's from. All right, and we got one more new one here. The beach bus. Ooh, hanging out with Chris there. I just tried to rotate that model with my mouse. Does not work on 3D Warehouse. That is, I gotta say, that's a big surfboard up there. I don't remember exactly how long the bus was, but it was 50 plus feet or something like that. So that's a lot of surfboard. That's
I've heard of longboarding, but this is ridiculous.
That's a team surfboard. You pile everybody up on there.
Get all the beach boys up on there.
Yeah, that's right. Cool, awesome, good job, guys. Good job giving us some buses. I was a little scared a couple weeks ago when we had like 1 or 2 entries. So it's cool. I'm glad to see that more and more of them are showing up. I'm excited to come in on Tuesday and see after the deadline what it looks like. See everybody who's entered. So thank you, great job. All right, speaking of your job, what we want to do today is dive into the 3D Warehouse. So not just that, we're not going to spend 3 hours looking at stuff on 3D Warehouse.
Oh man.
I know. We're going to use SketchUp. What I want to do is I want to get a model of something and I want to grab it off 3D Warehouse and I want to go through the process of cleaning it up. So some of you guys have used 3D Warehouse before and you've seen that 3D Warehouse can be a mixed bag. You can get stuff that is beautiful, perfect, beautifully put together, wonderful. You can get stuff that looks good, but it wasn't put together that well. Look good from this angle. If you turn around here, it's kind of messy. Or somewhere in between there, maybe there's some stuff that doesn't look good and isn't well put together. That stuff, hopefully, you're not downloading. But what I wanted to do was get some ideas from you. What would make a good thing to? Well, here, let me back up even more. So there's obviously different ways we can clean up models. We can optimize them for rendering. We can clean them up so they look good inside of a walkthrough. One of the most elaborate or lengthy processes is taking a model and, in my opinion, prepping it for 3D printing, because it has to be a solid. It has to be all one piece in order to print properly. So what I want to do is I want to get something that you guys, that we together right now decide would make a cool 3D print, download it, and then go through the process of preparing it. So we're going to go through the steps of grouping and ungrouping, cleaning up intersections, overlaps. Not so much materials we won't get into too much this time. Maybe we'll dedicate some more time to materials in a future stream, but it's really going to be about the geometry, taking that geometry and making it usable for what we have to do. We've talked a little bit, touched here and there on 3D printing before. We made a solid with part of the Iron Man mask, but this is going to be basically all the tricks and tips I can come up with from doing this. And I've done this quite a bit. We actually, a couple years ago, we made a exhibit for an educational seminar, which was DC, the Washington, D.C. area, and all the monuments, and not just monuments, but historic buildings from there. And we downloaded from Google Earth models, actually, of a lot of those historic buildings, which looked very nice, but they were not even a little bit solid. Like, not at all. So
I remember watching that, like, it was the Capitol building one that you did, right?
Exactly,
You kind of walked through it and stuff.
Yeah, so that was, it was kind of
a lot of stuff you did to
super fast. It's still up on our YouTube channel, of course, but it was the whole thing condensed down to like 8 minutes or something like that. It was a couple hours of work.
Mm-hmm.
So we get to watch it real time here. So I'm going to throw this out now, and I'm going to go back and review the highs and welcome all of our countries that are here. When we think about a good 3D printed thing that we could do, I was thinking of like maybe a vehicle or a prop of some sort, something that we could find in 3D Warehouse. What would be cool that we could get, download, and prep for 3D printing? And whatever this thing is, too, by the way, I'll throw it on the 3D printer so we can look at it next week. So with that, go ahead. Let's hear some ideas, throw some ideas out, and let's hear what you guys all have. While we're doing that, Sweden, India, France. Hello from France. Our buddy Red C's back. Dan saying hi from Chicago. That's my hometown. Well, just outside Chicago, but nobody knows where Lake Zurich, Illinois is. But
people from Chicago too.
Oh, that's true. You mate. Hi, Dan. Howdy, Johnny Shanks. Thor, hello from Iceland. Let's see who else we got over here. Thailand, we said hi.
Ooh, Croatia. Cool.
Wow.
Ireland.
Awesome.
Ooh, from all over.
We got
Thanks so
people
much
from
for
everywhere.
tuning in, guys.
Yeah, this is great. Got international incident happening right here.
globe spanning.
That's right.
The sun never sets on the SketchUp empire.
That's ooh.
Or the stream pire.
The stream never sets? No, the stream does set. The stream's going to set in a couple hours.
Yeah.
It's Friday. So what do you guys think? So, I mean, I'll throw out my idea. I'm a big fan of Jeeps. I don't currently own a Jeep, but I have owned several Jeeps in the past. And I was thinking it'd be kind of cool, since I don't have my own Jeep, to 3D print one that I could sit on my desk and just stare at longingly.
Like a Wrangler? Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, exactly. Like, yeah, a Wrangler.
My girlfriend's got a Grand Cherokee, but I feel like to Jeep people, if you don't have like a Wrangler or what's the other one that looks like that?
A CJ7 or a CJ5.
Right,
yeah.
Yeah. Then it's like, you're not going to get the Jeep wave, you know what I mean?
I have a hard time being elitist. I'm happy with anything. Anybody has a Jeep, that's cool.
Liberty will do.
Liberty, yeah, if in a pinch, I'll honor a Liberty.
A Gladiator.
Montreal.
Wrangler 2010. Nice. That'll do it.
All right, I'm gonna.
Actually, speaking of a gladiator, I have a question for you, Aaron. Do you like
Yes.
movies about gladiators?
Oh, that's good stuff right there.
Catan figures. Yeah, that'd be. I always thought, like, kind of printing your own board game.
Yeah.
Miniatures would be a nice use of 3D printing, but I don't know. The ones that we have in the office, at least the ones that I know how to use, are not high enough resolution for like really good looking minis. But
Yeah, that would be one of the issues we'd hit would be resolution for what we could find. That's some kind of figures would be kind of cool too. That'd be fun. Oh, is Gladiator a train?
Oh, as a type of.
I was thinking Russell Crowe too. I almost searched the warehouse for Russell Crowe, but no, not into trains. I'm sorry. Not that got nothing against trains. Just hasn't crossed my Jeep Gladiator. Is that a thing too?
Oh,
Man, I need my guy in the chair.
Wait, a Jeep Gladiator?
Yeah, is that a thing?
Yes. Yeah.
All right, so I'm gonna throw Jeep in and just see what happens. I'm gonna start there. So obviously, here we are. This is the perfect definition of hitting and missing with the warehouse.
I like that top right one. Actually, one down from that, the red one. Print that, baby.
Yeah, we just have to use the thickener extension on it and send it to the printer. So, I mean, and I'm not going to put down any model. I think it's awesome. Anybody who spends time modeling something and shares it through your warehouse, that's awesome. Except for the ones where they take Bryce and make his shirt a different color and upload it as a new model. That, less respect is going out for that. I'll just be totally honest.
Those people are innovators.
I
mean,
guess.
sometimes you want a person with like a red shirt.
And now Bryce is wearing blue. And now Bryce is wearing black. And yeah, that less stoked about. All right. But yeah, I mean, some cool stuff here. There's a Jeep with some treads on it. That's fun. And we've got this kit of additional parts here. That's pretty sweet. I'm 90% sure this is a Hummer and not a Jeep, but oh, see, Renegade made the list.
Oh, nice. Pernilla asks Leaf. Well, thanks for tuning in for a little bit. Yeah, check it out. It'll be uploaded to YouTube afterwards. And is there a schedule for these sessions? I mean, we've been doing noon on Fridays, Mountain time. But as far as like topics and stuff, you just have to follow us on social for what we're going to do that week. We kind of pick it out the week before. So, yeah, check it out on the old social media.
One of the reasons we like hearing from you guys as we do these things, of course, is we do actually have a running list of things we're going to look at or things that we're potentially going to model, and that's all been fed by what you guys, ideas you guys have. So, not all of them. Sometimes we've had a couple that we've done because of stuff that's going on, and Game of Thrones, Endgame happened, that kind of thing. So
We got to piggyback on the,
that's right.
on the popular stuff.
So this is a cool model. It looks like it's really well put together. I'm guessing this would actually be fairly easy to make solid, but I would like to find something maybe with a little more detail than that. That looks a little low detail there. Ooh, now this. Let's take a peek at what the 3D model looks like. I like the big tires. That's kind of fun.
Wine glass ornaments. Ooh, nice. 53 Willys CJ High Hood.
Ooh.
Okay.
Yeah, there's a Willy back there on the front page. Ooh, look at this. This is all right. This is the level of detail I kind of was thinking.
You're gonna do the inside too, or you're gonna? How are you gonna
No, well, we'll see. I would probably leave the inside to the end, and if we get to it, it might be kind of fun to make something with a removable top. That'd be kind of cool. But I don't know for sure. It's going to depend on. So a couple things here is, So when I did the model I was talking about with the landmarks, I just actually had the links of the landmarks sent to me, and it said, you know, these are the models I got to work on. With this, we'll be able to kind of evaluate. Maybe we'll download a couple of them just to take a look. I'm just going to go ahead and download this right now. Just grab that. Just as a potential one to look at. I did see this. You mentioned a Willys, and I did see this model of a Willys, which I thought was kind of cool looking too. Might grab this just to check it out. But we'll use this to kind of evaluate the kind of thing we can see on, the kind of stuff we can see on, ooh, that is pretty cool. Anybody who's seen one of these old Willys knows that there's actually not a whole lot of detail to them. There's a lot of bent metal, and it kind of looks like what this is. That's kind of cool. All right, I'm going to grab onto this, if nothing else, just it's a fun model. So we'll keep rolling through here. Oh, there's another Willys.
Holland, Latvia.
Wow.
It's all over today. Tuning in across the globe. I wonder if are we broadcasting from those Elon Musk satellites or whatever? Can he just send up some satellites yesterday?
I'd imagine that up and running if this went up yesterday, are they?
Lightstream. Or no. It's something like that, right?
Is that the effort to give free internet to everyone everywhere? Is that what that's the project?
I hope so.
That'd be nice.
Free Wi-Fi for all.
Ooh, look at this guy right here. I kind of like this.
Yeah, it's a good.
It's a cool looking. It's got enough detail. So one of the things that I'm looking at when I look at something to 3D print is the detail. It's real easy to go in and close up detail, but it's not as easy to take someone else's model necessarily and add detail to it. So if, for example, the handles were like an image on the side, well, that's great. That means if I wanted to actually model it, I'd have to go in and start drawing from scratch and pull out a shape or cut in a shape. So that makes it a little bit more work. When they're already here, if there's too much detail or there's something small, it's gonna be too small to print, so I need to fill it with backing, something like that. It's a lot easier to add that support or fill in a detail than to remove it. So if, for example, whatever reason I didn't want the cup to be here behind the handle, I could go in and close that surface up and then just have this piece on the outside. That would be real easy. But again, to take it as a picture and create that 3D space, that negative space inside, that's more work. So I'd rather have too much detail and come back here. Oh, this is a perfect example. Well, maybe not. I might actually leave this and see if it can print. But these bars, if I didn't want to actually do that, if I wanted to fill it in, it would be a lot easier for me to just go in and connect some geometry and make a surface on there rather than have to go in and redraw these tubes and intersect them myself. So, too much detail to a point. Eventually, there's so much detail that you're going to spend time just deleting geometry, and that's when we've gone too far the other way. Oop, I'm seeing a potential issue here with this, I'm not a car guy, but fairly certain this should connect.
If you get like a lift kit or some kind of mod, maybe that would connect that.
I'm kind of getting the feeling that maybe this undercarriage section here was kind of added on or borrowed from somewhere else, because the wheels look like they're pretty close to being in the right spot.
What about that suspension? It looks like maybe they added a separate suspension in or something?
Yeah, somebody may have gone through and so this stuff's in here.
It's kind of, I've heard of like a car that gets dumped, you gotta drop that thing down, you want to rake it, you know what I mean?
No, I don't.
This is car things that I remember from people talking about in high school.
So this actually looks good, because I like, one of the things I don't want to download, because it would make our stream really short, is a beautiful solid model that there's nothing to do to. So I know there's some issues on here that we could work on. So I'm going to go ahead and grab this one right here. Let's take a peek inside real quick. Whoa, we got interior modeling too. No, this is the Yeah, so they did just grab the suspension off of something else, it looks like, and plop it into this model.
Yeah.
Cool, not a problem. We can make it work. I'm gonna grab it. It's got the right amount of issues.
Dave said, how do you determine whether to fix a model or redraw it from scratch? Using the 3D Warehouse model as a reference, perhaps. Does it kind of depend on the model that you find, or does it depend more on like the project that it is, or like how comfortable you feel modeling from scratch, or how much time you have, or?
Yeah, I'd say there's two things to consider. One is the usage. What am I actually going to use this for? So if I was working on an architectural model, for example, and my client said, well, I got to see my Jeep out front of the house, or make sure that my Jeep's going to fit into the garage because I got a lift kit, whatever. RVs are a big thing. Is that going to fit into the space? Something like that, I would grab it. You know, does it look presentable? Looks okay. Yeah, go ahead and grab it. The other thing to look at is going to be file size. So we don't have a ton of detail over here, but it's enough to kind of give you a idea of how heavy a model this is going to be. So this is 80,000 polygons, around 8 megabytes. So this is a decent size. It's not huge by any means, but it's a good size model by itself. Let me go ahead and, did I download it? Yes, I did. I don't know how I got it again. Backup copy.
You can use that one as a reference.
That's right.
Yeah.
So if I look at something, or we're gonna go way similar, this Jeep right here, this is obviously less than a K, less than a kilobyte, 2,000 surfaces. This isn't the kind of model that I would download to put into an architectural model necessarily, but maybe if I had just doing a kid's room and wanted a Jeep toy snuck in there, maybe I would grab something like that.
Mm-hmm.
But that's the kind of thing I would look at. I would be conscious of the file size for what it's going to be used for. So if it was a toy, it's something small on the side of a renderer. I don't want to, hundreds of thousands of polygons if it's going to take up this much of the screen on the corner. On the other hand, if it's the main thing I'm doing, like this Jeep, I probably want to invest a little more. So unfortunately, it's one of those things where there's not a cut and dry, if it's 50,000 polygons or less, or it really is going to depend on what you want to use. As far as Dave was asking, using the view in 3D Warehouse, this is a good way to do an initial review of a model, but I won't rely on this alone to commit to something like a model. One of the things I will always do, there is the ability in SketchUp, you can open 3D Warehouse from within SketchUp, go find a model and import it directly into SketchUp. I almost never do that. The only time I do that is if I know the model I'm pulling down is good or safe, it's what I want to use. So if you ever see us on videos go, let's just go grab a model, odds are good we took a look at the model beforehand and determined that it was the model I want to download. And when I say safe, I'm not worried about like viruses or something like that. I'm saying it's not going to be, if you guys have ever done this before, where you download a model that's 3 million polygons or something like that, you download it and it just sits there and chugs and chugs and chugs and chugs. That's the kind of stuff we don't want to have happen.
Or you download it into like an existing model and it has a million different layers.
Right, exactly. I don't want to mess with my layers or my scenes. So 9 times out of 10, what I'll do is come in here through a browser, download the model, and then go open it up and check it. And if I like it, everything's good, then I'll save it and import it into my working drawing. So just a tip in general, that's the workflow that I would recommend. A lot of times people use 3D Warehouse to house their own models and they pull them in. If you're doing that, then that's great. You don't have to worry about it. Go ahead and pull it in. If you don't know a model, don't take a strange model home without doing your proper investigative work.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm saying there.
That would be irresponsible.
That's right. All right. So we're already started, Mark. Come on, man. Sorry, guys.
He's behind the times.
Oh, I didn't even put on the right layer. Oh man. Sorry, tried to make a really a nice little template here that I could just use all the time, and
not working out.
nope. All right. Well, let me say this is the template again. Boom. Saved. All right. Now that we've done that, let's go ahead and file import. Should be that most recent file. I want to import SKP file. All right. All right, so first impression, it looks like it's pretty close to proper scale, so that's a plus. That's one of the things that is hard to gauge on 3D Warehouse, because when you see it, the image that you first get in 3D Warehouse is depending on how the model's saved. So if I was to go to File and Save right now, my 3D and upload this to 3D Warehouse, this is what would show up on that little tile there when you see the file listed on 3D Warehouse.
Would that little bit of your
save.
water bottle be saved in there too?
Oh.
Just one. I was okay with it, but I was just wondering if that would get saved.
We'll put that over there.
Right.
So the thing is that I don't, generally speaking, there's not really a way from that thumbnail to tell, is this a huge model, is this a tiny model, what is this? So generally speaking, that's the first thing I'm looking at when I import it. All right, it looks like it's about right. Something else that I'm seeing right now is this container for this group is huge. See, it's not just wrap around the Jeep, it's wrap around all this other stuff. So what that's telling me is something else is going on inside of this.
Can I guess?
Guess.
Axis.
That could be it. That could be, well, that would be part of it. So the bounding box includes all the geometry that's in a group plus the axes. So if the axes was all the way over here, it would explain this corner being so far. But if you look, the box goes way above below and extends past it. So it's up against the edge on this side, but it goes past it this way, goes past it front and back. So there's more to it than that. I bet that's part of it though.
Yay.
So let's go to, we're gonna go to View and start looking. We're gonna turn on Hidden Geometry, see if there's anything in there. Nothing that's currently visible. We're gonna go check our layers. Some of these are mine. So these hashtag ones are in the template. That's how I make Mark talk. But look at all these things. So we're just gonna start taking inventory here. I'm gonna turn my hidden off temporarily. And let's see what happens if I turn on tire 2. Ooh, you see that?
A little girth. Oh, well, not really girth. It's just kind of.
I'm thinking maybe those are the stock tires that actually line up with, I bet these.
Well, it certainly happens when you get stuff off the warehouse.
That's right. This is a perfect example of exactly what I'm talking about. All right, so here I got a thing. Gosh. So this is on layer 0. I'm just going to temporarily move it out of the way and turn on that tire 2 layer. Oh no, that's in the same group? Oh, you're killing me. I can't complain. This is why we're doing this. This is straight up like exactly why we're talking about this stuff. So we do have some things published out there, which are guides to, what's the best way to prepare a model for 3D Warehouse. And we talk about things like, don't nest things 6 layers deep. All of geometry should be on layer 0. Everything else should be on named layers. So it's real easy to turn them off. This one already has some weird nesting going on. So this is an example of the kind of stuff you're going to run into if you use 3D Warehouse, which is good. Like I said, this is kind of what I was asking for, right? So here we have layout for cutting something. I'm going to delete that. I don't know what it is.
Yeah. I
don't want it. So I'm going to go ahead and delete this layer. Something else is on this layer, so I'm not going to delete it. All right, I'm going to just keep working through here. I have an image here. There's the image of the tires. That I can get rid of. Actually, I'm going to do this. I'm going to select one of, they're nested. on the layer wheel. And
Now
this
which-
piece is on the layer image.
Hmm.
Stuff's crazy. Stuff is crazy in here.
Perhaps this person need to watch the layers video or something. Something like that. Would you ever use Outliner for this to see like where groups are located in the model and stuff?
Yes, absolutely. So I just went in and selected everything on the selected layer. It's just those, so I feel confident I can delete. And nothing too weird happens. All right, we got rid of a layer. We're doing something. Yes, absolutely. Outliner is huge because it's really easy. I mean, even just right there, you saw we just jumped through so many different groups. It's just a group and a group and a group and a group. So what I can do here is when I have something selected, Outliner is going to show me, okay, this is wheel front, which is in the XV wheel spoke, which is in the XV wheel group, which is in the XV wheel group, which is in the rim 4x4. So yeah, this thing is deep. So one of the things, so this at this point we're just doing evaluation. We're not even thinking about 3D printing right now. I'm just trying to find where everything is in this model. One of the things I want to think about in the back of my head is what I want to end up with is a single solid, right? I want to have one piece that is one massive solid that I can just send to a printer. When I think about doing that, I have to think about things like this. Is this rim the amount of detail on a print? So I'm thinking this Jeep's going to be, you know, maybe that big. So that means the wheel's going to be about that big, which means this hub's going to be about this big. So when I'm going this big, how much detail do I need to put in there? Am I going to actually have these thin walls like this, or am I going to just bulk this out and just leave these indents in a solid piece inside the wheel? Probably that second one. But again, still evaluating, still looking at stuff. See what's on detail 6, detail 5, 3, 2, 1. Wow, found something. I don't want to say he varied from the drawings, but
Is that a Subaru?
it's not a it's a 2013 Crosstech.
Well, I guess that's where he got the XV from, right?
Yeah, I'm trying to like. Oh, I think he copied the hubs
XV wheel, yeah.
there, so that's where those came from. So that's what it was. Okay, we're cool. We're cool. All right, so these are also nested in the group somewhere. So I keep coming in here. Oh, this is gold right here. This is everything to not do. All right, I'm gonna get rid of those. I also got some dimensions in here. I don't need those. All right, we're cleaning it up. I bet right now if I step out and select that group, all right, see, check that out. That was those big images that pushed the boundaries of that group out. So, all right, so we're doing good. We're doing awesome here. We do still have this tire 1, tire 2 thing. Gonna hop in here a little bit deeper. So this tire, yeah, I don't love this tire. I want to make the new tires that they made work on here. So I'm just going to grab this group and delete it. All right, so we're back to this. So we will have to do some work in here as far as the under here, getting the axles lined up with where the tires actually are. I'm going to say where the tires are is where I want to keep them. So we're going to grab this whole mess here. We're just going to slide it into place. Same thing in the back. We'll grab this and scoot it back. And then talk about what kind of work we got to do to make that printable. But we're getting there. We're getting closer. We don't need all these layers. I feel better about the stuff we have cleaned up. I am going to take a look at my outliner though and see if I have anything that's turned off right now that I'm not seeing. Looks like when something is hidden, so when I hide a thing, go ahead and hide this temporarily. See how it looks in my outline? It's paler, grayed out. So if I see anything like that, then I know I want to go in there, unhide it. So as I'm coming through here, I'm seeing everything. And it looks like, for the most part, those are all the same. Wheel nut. It looks like I'm looking at everything that's in this model right now. It's amazing how many layers and everything are dedicated to, oh, there's the lift kit. Yeah, so that was pulled off of something else also. And our actual Jeep, there's our Jeep, we found it. Is, all right, so the front end there is a separate one, and then the Jeep here. Cool.
That's your Jeep Wrangler on limited stock.
Darn right it is. All right, so it's modeled as half, which is something we've talked about in here. This is a symmetric vehicle, so it was modeled in a single half. Yeah, so that's pretty sweet. Yes, we can work from this. We're gonna do some work. So this is kind of cool because this is, and I just talked about how we check models before we show them in things like videos. I did not do that. I was really totally fully ready to do something that you guys called out for, but you're so silent when I asked, so that's why we ended up with the Jeep. I'm gonna delete one thing. I just don't like this. I don't want that light up there. I want the nice smooth top of the Jeep there. That's what I'm looking for. That's personal preference. That was my choice. There's nothing wrong with that part of the model. I just didn't want to do it. All right, so I'm gonna start hopping in here. So the first thing, I know there's a bunch of issues around the tires, so I'm just gonna deal with those first. So I'm gonna double click in here, and I'm gonna hide the rest of the model. Please. I'm going to reassign my shortcut key because I did it. I actually created a shortcut key for this, you guys. I assigned hide rest of model to Shift Q. There we go. There we go. Got 5 of these guys. And
Where are the burger and fries? Let's see. We've got a couple of comments here. Could you print it like that without moving wheels on the side and turning them on the XY plane? Maybe they're asking.
I don't know that I understood that question.
Could you print it in different pieces maybe?
Turn it on the XY.
Like maybe I think they mean print the body separate and the wheels and then like put them on later or something.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. I mean that absolutely. This could be broken down if I want. I could, chop the Jeep into pieces and then print them as big as I could get on the bed. That's absolutely possible too. Yeah, for sure. I'm choosing to come up with a single solid from this disintegrated model because I want to show you guys some tips on how to do that. But yeah, you can break down as much or as little as you want to as far as that goes. All right, so what I'm going to do right now, there's a couple things with this wheel and tire that I'm going to do. I want to make it one solid piece with as much detail as I can spare, but keeping it printable. The last thing I want to do with something like this is end up with this hollow cavity, which a wheel primarily is. I mean, it's a big hole. This is where the stuff goes, the brakes and the wheel drum and all the stuff go in there. But I don't want that. I want that to just be one big solid piece. I don't want to have to come in here and break out support material or whatever. If I was printing it in pieces like you're asking, then yeah, I could probably just throw this on the printer flat like this, flat like that, and let it build up underneath there. That would be fine. But since I'm going for a monolithic model, I want to have all this be one piece. So I'm going to keep drilling down into this model. So if I click in deeper, the tire goes away, and now I have just this piece. In here, if I click in, I have, okay, all of this section was made in small sections. Okay, so I see. So this is one section that's then repeated all the way around. Cool, we can work with this. And then it looks like these guys are separate pieces. We can work with that too. And I also saw something else out here. I can delete that. I'm okay with that. I'm okay losing that level of detail.
I think that was like the little error thing, right?
Exactly.
Can you get those that like light up? You drive
I'm
around
sure
and they light up.
You can.
Those are pretty cool.
Yeah, that stuff Yeah, I bet you can. All right. I'm going to take advantage of the way this is constructed right now. If I look at, I'm going to hide similar components. So I'm going to take advantage of this right here. If I can make this one piece a solid by itself, then I know I can join all the other pieces together, the 9 other pieces. I think there's 10 of these total. So I'm going to work on making just this one piece into a solid that looks like a section of it, and then I'll just join them all together afterwards. Okay, so first thing I'm going to do, I just want this to come straight back to, I'm going to have to turn on my hidden geometry because everything is softened and smoothed. All right, so here is, oh, so the back and front are separate. That's good to know too. I'm going to, again, work with what I got. I'm going to do this. Look at what's here. All right. I'm just curious. Like, did I misclick that? Or is that last triangle just, okay, there we go. No, something's not right. Odd. Oh, there we go. All right, so there is, how about that? Oh, yeah. Oh, look at that. It's so nice when things line up. It's just so pleasant, and I'm so happy about this. I'm getting rid of the hidden geometry. You guys probably know, when you go to 3D print something, hidden doesn't matter. That basically doesn't exist is really what happens. Hidden geometry is not a thing once you get into printing. It's just geometry. It's just circles is the only thing, or surfaces, excuse me, is the only thing we're worried about. All right, so that kind of makes this whole section, oh, it's connected by one line there. Oh, what's also connected? Oh, right there. I just have to do something. I'm gonna have to explode these two to join them together to get in here to close this up, because this front actually ties back in with this piece. All right, so I want this whole wedge to just be one big closed piece. So I actually gonna go to the outside with this. Ooh, something else closed up. Love it. That's the circle, that thing, that's the thing. It's amazing how often the term thing is the thing to say. Doesn't come straight back like this. Does that not close up there? Not quite. All right, and I'm gonna start deleting some interior geometry now. Get rid of this chunk right here, here. I don't need any of this right here. Well, I'll go ahead and leave that piece right now because it makes me happy that it closed up. And this will be, like I said, we're gonna spend quite a bit of time just on this small section, but when we're done, it'll mean the entire wheel is a solid. So how does that, does that close for me now? Let me throw a triangle across, see what that does. Something's still not lined up perfectly. So this, I'll go ahead and I'm going to close this. I don't need this hole right here, so I can go ahead and close that up. Like such. Ooh. Now those little lines connecting things together. All right, getting there. Right here, this big cavity, I'm gonna get rid of these pieces that connect it to the back. I actually don't need this whole middle part because we were saying that's not gonna exist because that's part of the inside. So I do want to keep this. I like this relief that goes back in here. So what I might do is I might do something like pull this straight back and then pull this parallel to this straight line back here. And then I'm trying to figure out how to do some of this stuff as we go. So this is going to come back. I'm going to work plane back here. So what I want this to do is I want it to go in somewhat. I don't need it to be a full cavity. I need to go all the way back, but I do want to have a little bit of relief in there. Maybe not even that much. Maybe I'll pull that forward more like that. Yes, I am happy with this. Okay.
This pleases me.
This pleases me. Pleases me greatly. All right. So I'm going to go perpendicular to this line. I'm just going to take... Wait a minute. Who hasn't told me to save yet? I'm looking. I don't see any saves anywhere in the comments. That's why I come to you guys. Okay, I'm good now. All right, there we go. All right, come to here. And what I'm doing is I'm just throwing a plane in here. All right, this is how far I want this geometry to come back. And now what I can do is I can actually come in here and select around. I'm gonna do this too. I'm gonna turn to monochrome. I don't need that black in the way. Oh, ooh.
Uh-oh.
Look at that. Got my frontwards where my backwards supposed to be. I wonder if I can grab all of that. Go to extension, see if I can use PushLine. Push that. Oh, look at that. Love it. And let's see how that. Cool. Yes, that is very pleased. Not sure what's going on here. I got some weird stuff. All right, so this is actually an important thing too. When you're going through, at some point in your journey of taking this model that someone else created and making it into your own, you get to take ownership. This is now my model. So how much time do I want to spend figuring out why this line won't quite close up? My answer is less than I already have. So I'm just going to hit delete, reconnect it all back up, and be done. It's amazing how, I don't know if it's just me, or let me know if you guys have done this too, where you get into a detail and you're just beating your head against the wall, trying to make something line up, trying to make something fit, and I'm like, oh, I could delete that line and redraw it, and the whole thing works again. Couple seconds. So yeah, there's a point where you decide this is my model, and I'm not worried about staying true to the original lines. It doesn't matter. There's a point at which it just stops mattering. So get to that point as quick as possible, because it's going to save you time when you're in a situation like that where you're trying to make everything line up perfectly.
You're not worried about artist's intent, the original modelers. You're not restoring their model. You're making it your own.
I'm using their initial work as inspiration for my own final whatever.
It's like a sample.
Exactly. Yeah. I'm respecting where it came from. I think it's awesome that whoever modeled this. But yeah, I'm not going to be hung up on keeping every piece of line work they had if it doesn't serve my purpose anymore. All right, so now I'm going to run down here and just delete everything that's on the other side of this line because I don't need it.
Somebody recommended perhaps using vertex tools to push and create a curved surface, and then that would make it faster. I don't know exactly what that's referring to, but
which piece you're talking about? Maybe, because maybe that would work. I got something off.
Maybe it was the one that you did PushLine on.
Oh, so the idea with PushLine was to get it back against this surface. So I didn't actually want to, I mean, I could go in and create a round surface. That would work, or something like that would have worked also. but all I was interested in was getting a surface back here, which is already, again, I'm at the point right now where this is taking me too much time right now. I'm about ready to scrap this thing. Why don't you close? Huh, this is odd. I don't like this. I'm unpleased. I was pleased earlier.
Oh man.
I'm no longer pleased.
Displeasure floods through your
Model.
model.
Huh. All right, I'm not quite sure what's happening here. I'm gonna use vertex tools right now and make this planar. Maybe leave these lines out. No, what is? Oh, you're planar now. You can't argue with me. Oh, there we go. We're closer. Okay, that's odd. That tells me that something's broken in my geometry, most likely. But again, guess what? I'm at the point where I'm good with this. I don't care anymore. No, that sounds wrong. That's not the way it was supposed to come out. This is good enough considering this detail will be this big on my print. I don't care about getting that perfect. That is good enough. I'm gonna do the same thing here, hopefully a little more eloquently. We'll see. I'm gonna grab this line. I'm gonna come back and address the inside-outside lines in just 1 second.
The IOLs. Deploy Burninate extension.
Trogdor. All right, I'm gonna grab that there, and I'm going to Adebo that thing.
Steven asks if can reversed faces affect geometry? Depending on what you're doing, they may or may not matter.
Ooh, look at
For this example, Aaron's preparing it for 3D printing, which the outside face and the inside face will matter for printing because, I mean, if you want to have one solid that has an outside and an inside, then each face has to be oriented correctly in order for that to work. And also rendering is where people run into problems with kind of reversed faces as well. So sometimes it doesn't matter, but it's good modeling practice to keep whatever's inside facing inside and whatever's outside facing outside.
That is the answer. All right, that one was a little easier. That's cleaned up. All right, so the only thing I gotta figure out here is just gonna run some lines straight back here and see if I can't get this thing to close up on the sides. Really, it doesn't matter because I'm gonna want this to be solid with all the pieces connected. It'd be nice if I get to close up because it will make it easier to do the inside-outside thing. Also, well, I'm gonna do it in a second. All right, I got a surface. Something's working for me. All right, I do have extra geometry here. I don't need all of this. Be gone.
Oh, speaking of, well, not speaking of, but since you're using the eraser and like dragging over stuff, that skill builder that you made earlier this week with the using the erase as a select, that was cool. I haven't ever thought of that, but
I got to give, I don't know if he's on here, but forum user Mike Wazowski, aka Jack de Moel, that was his idea. We had a little thing on the forum where we asked people to tell us their skill builders. And when they did, we made them into videos. Whoops. I gotta look happy there. That one's all me. And that was one of the ones that somebody came up with, and that was cool. I mean, it makes total, once you do it, it makes total sense.
yeah. But it's always interesting to like not go through the the full process of. It's kind of like starting to draw a line, orbiting, and and selecting the endpoint. Like when you first start modeling, you don't really think of that. But yeah, doing stuff in the middle of operation is clever.
It is. That's good stuff.
I got hello from Russia. Hello. And Florida. Hello down in Florida and over in Russia. What are you modeling? Aaron's modeling a Jeep. What kind of Jeep is it?
Wrangler something.
Rubicon? Is that right? It's a Jeep.
It's a Jeep.
For 3D printing. So this is part of the wheel.
Just doing some cleanup on a model from 3D Warehouse right now.
Polishing up the rims.
All right, I'm going to do something else here. I'm going to go grab all of this. I'm going to go to soften smooth edges. And I'm going to soften and smooth everything. I'll come back and clean it up later, but right now I don't need to see this. I don't want these hidden lines. So I'm going to turn everything back to visible. There's no reason for, again, we talked about this before. There's no reason with a 3D model like this to even have hidden lines because I'm going to 3D print. Geometry is geometry. Doesn't matter if you can see it or not.
And soften smooth too. That's just a display property in SketchUp. So even if you had a circle that was or a cylinder that was smooth, it wouldn't show up on the print. It would still be segmented.
Correct. Oh, this may be the reason for some of, if not all of my problems closing up the side here. Let's try this one more time.
What tool for capturing the real object? Not exactly sure what you mean, Javier. Is that we downloaded it from 3D Warehouse? If that's where you're asking where we got the original geometry from. And it will be 3D printed in one of the printers we have around the office.
Yeah.
I believe the original model was modeled after or off reference images.
At least that we know the wheels
were. Yeah.
All right, so one of the things, this is something that I run into a lot. That is, can't talk. With models like this, I run into a lot of is stuff not drawn on axis, where models are put together with a, kind of a that's good enough mindset, which I get. It's fine the way it looks, but it can be difficult because once I get in here, I want stuff to line up and have everything be nice and clean, and that's not always an option because whoever made it drew something, it wasn't quite on axis, but that's fine. It's the back of a tire. Throw it on. I could probably have that attitude too. I should probably have more of that attitude because there's gonna be a point at which we go, okay, it's good enough. I don't need to go a whole lot further to make it 3D printable. So we'll probably hit that in the not too distant future. But
nice. Hey guys, I stopped using SketchUp a long time ago, but I like to watch this stream to see you creating something. Well, thanks for tuning in, and perhaps it'll inspire you to pick up the old click, move, click tool again.
You started that off so strong.
Yeah.
It just kind of...
I don't know if I've ever finished a sentence and been happy with it. Or been like...
Nailed it.
Yeah, exactly.
Man, I really nailed that sentence.
Always room to improve.
That's a good way to look at it.
Tesla? No, this is a part of a Jeep, actually. So Aaron's downloaded a Jeep model off 3D Warehouse and cleaning up. This is part of the wheel. Cleaning it up for printing on a 3-dimensional printer.
So we have a couple 3D printers in-house, which is kind of cool. It's a perk of working here, I guess. One of them, so we have a couple of lulz bots, which is one of those, that's a funny word.
Bot?
So we got a couple lulz bots. And then we also have, which I'm thinking I'll print this on, it would be our form printer. A Form 2 printer where it prints in the resin, which is really cool because you can get a much higher level of detail in your models, which is super cool. I got a couple issues here where I'm just gonna do this. I spent enough time on this wheel. So I'm gonna grab some lines and just pull them through like along their original axes here. Actually, I'm not pulling through on their original axes, I'm just off axes. Oh, come on, man. See, that's what happens when I talk and do things. Whoa, was there 2 points there? There it is. So there's some stuff going on. Some stuff's happening.
Maybe this was the wrong model to clean up.
Yeah. Well, fortunately, I think that this part of it will be. Well, we're gonna see a lot of things here. We're gonna see some things. And then I'm just gonna real quickly connect these together. I thought quickly. No. So there's something going on here with these segments right here.
Aaron got a new patty thing. Perhaps if you're talking about the 3D mouse, yeah, his original one short-circuited a little while ago, and then he had a temporary one, and then yeah, a couple weeks ago got this replacement Space Mouse Enterprise, I think is what it's called, from 3D Connection. If you're watching on YouTube, the link to that is in the description. But yeah,
It's back.
it is back in business. Form 2, when can we win one of those hashtag giveaway?
Hashtag AskForm2. Ask Form Labs for one. Yeah, that's not something I can give away. First off, it's very much not mine. And they're on the expensive side. But really cool printers because they do, like I said, super high level of detail, which is just awesome. Sorry, I gotta stop and like just make something real quick because I'm brute forcing this thing right now, but there we go.
Yeah, you do what you gotta do, man.
There we go.
Nerman, I teach everyone not to use perspective when modeling. I hate it when I lose focus when I'm close to the model, especially in architectural modeling.
So that most likely is an issue of what we call clipping, where the camera shoots through. Is that what you're talking about? Where you get like, basically you could think of it as this all is, I have a camera on my head and I'm moving around the model. And when I get too close, my head pokes through the model. That's called clipping. We do experience an issue with clipping depending on how your model is put together. If your model is too big, it can cause issues with clipping. That is to say, like architectural model, if you have stuff miles away from the origin, it can cause issues with clipping. Or if you're dealing with a real small piece of a real big model, that can cause issues with clipping too. So most times we see that switching between perspective and parallel helps. There's less of an issue with camera in parallel, but, and this is totally subjective, some people really like working in that perspective view.
Like you.
I like perspective. I struggle with parallel. but I know this about me. That's your call. How you want to do it, that's up to you. All right, you know what? We're gonna see. I'm gonna just take these real quick, and I'm going to. Now I'm thinking about this, I'm realizing this matters even less than I originally was thinking, because all of this is on the inside of the actual tire. So, yes, that was a fun exercise in the unnecessary. Really, actually, I can just get rid of. I really just need the hubcap. All right, that's cool. So I can actually get rid of so much of what I just. Really, all we need is out to this. All right. All right, we're gonna clean this thing up now.
The cleanup begins.
All right. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna work my way around here. I'm gonna go to an edge view like this, grab as much stuff as I can, delete. I'm just gonna work my way around, hacking at this edge. The issue, this gets tough. The reason I can't just spin onto the side and just go like this, grab it like that, is because most of my detail actually goes inside that initial geometry. So it's an issue of coming in here and a little bit of precision. The nice thing is once I disconnect this all from the outside, I'll be able to just grab the back half and delete it all at once. So a couple more rotates and selection delete like this, and I should be at that point.
Nice. I remember when I started using SketchUp a long time ago, and it's still the greatest 3D modeling software. Oh, well, thanks for saying so. I think Aaron and I would heartily agree with you.
Biased, but we think our opinion's right, yeah.
Yeah, we know it is. Nicholas says, I love the 3D Connection Space Mouse Enterprise. And so does Aaron. He's flipping around this wheel smooth as butter. And silk, for that matter.
Oh, we're almost there.
Dave says you prefer, or I guess he says your problem is that you have two eyes and binocular vision. Maybe that's why you prefer the parallel.
That's probably it. If only I had. What's the alternative?
Eye patch?
Ooh. So pirates prefer parallel projection? Is that what I just? That's what I learned just now.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
Maybe.
I mean, it emulates looking through a, what are those called? You pop them out, you look at the sea, land ho, and all
Telescope?
this. Yeah.
Yeah. You're looking for a better maritime-y sounding word, weren't you?
Yeah. Well,
Para something?
I'm not known for my vocabulary.
We call that wording in the business.
I do not use a space mouse, so for me, modeling large models in perspective slows me moving around the model. Well, depending on how big your model is, I mean, and how it's created, it might, even with a space mouse, might be a little slow as well. So
Too true. Yeah, it really depends. I will say the hardest thing, whether you're using a space mouse or not, is jumping from large portions of the model to detail. So, and that's also when you can get into the most trouble, and that's when you experience things like clipping planes. But if you're going in, you're doing an architectural model of an entire building, and you're zooming in and working on a light switch, zooming, panning, all that stuff's going to get weird at that point. And that just has to do with how SketchUp goes about putting geometry on the screen. And I don't know how much there is to actually do about that. Some of it can come down to workflow. So one of the things you may want to consider at that point, if you do a lot of that, is actually making those small pieces into components that are separate from the rest of the house. And you can work on those in a separate instance. You can open it up by itself, work on it there, and then drop it back in. We did a video not too long ago kind of showcasing how to go about taking, like, say, in the one we did, it was an individual room and making changes to it. But same goes for taking a small piece of detail of a larger model, working on it as its own model, and then jumping back in and out. That way that it works with components the same way. So something else to try to consider if you're in that situation where you see that kind of work a lot. All right. I think I got my hubcap fairly well isolated. It's better look killer. I mean, that's... All right.
This is the prettiest XV wheel I've ever seen.
That's saying a lot, guys.
So.
So I'm using Cleanup 3. This works a couple different ways. An extension from TomTom. I can hit clean, which is going to pull it up, and clean does a lot of stuff. So if I just hit clean, it's going to let me go through and do a bunch of different steps. I'm actually not using the full clean. I'm just going in and running individual steps. So in this case, I'm going to say erase straight edges. So all of my extra lines that are just out there floating around are gone then. Something else I'll probably run in a minute is, let's see how much this I can grab at once. This will be a fun challenge. Gotta get rid of all this detail here in the middle. These guys poking out. All right, I'm here to do a teeny bit of surgery. But the nice thing about cleanup, as I was saying, is if I can get rid of these extra surfaces, then these lines floating around don't matter, because I can, with just that one click of that extension, get rid of all those extra lines. So that's nice. It makes it, ooh, I don't like the look of this. Oh, that's these. I'm deleting these guys. Hey, look, I solved that problem.
Nice.
All right. So with that, let's see, run erase straight edges again. All right, so I think this is getting me close. I don't know if I have a solid yet. There's a couple spots I'm concerned about, but I might come back to those in just a second. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna step out once more. I'm gonna actually go into this one. Look at what I got. Oh, look at that. It's not even attempted to be solid. Yes. See if I can just close this up with a line. Oh. And this is something you run into in 3D Warehouse a lot. Oh, you know what? All of these different, all these, I believe they're called nubbies, are separate pieces.
Oh boy.
All right, so. But it's all, I don't know. I don't know what's going on here. All right, we're gonna explode that. Grab all that stuff. We're in as deep as we can go. We're gonna say intersect with selection. That should give me these breaks on the outside of those, the nubby pieces. So that'll actually intersect nice. That looks good all through there. Boy. Now, unfortunately, what I'd have to do is select each of these guys. Oh, this sucks. This is a horrible idea. Whose idea was this? Oh, man. Okay, so honestly, it's probably about, I'm going to spend a minute doing this, but, oops. So what I'm doing with each of these is I'm double clicking the face. So when I double click if I just select the face and hit delete, it deletes just that piece. If I double click and I hit delete, look what happens. It deletes all of that. Same thing here. Oh man, this is gonna get ugly. I'm totally second guessing everything.
Is there like an extension you could use to clean this up?
I don't know about that. So how much of it? What's that? It's like a third of the wheel. No, that's not too bad. What I'm concerned with right now, so I'm gonna grab this, and reverse the face here. Reverse that face. All right. Okay, that's actually pretty cool. That's pretty easy. My concern right now is a lot of these holes did not poke all the way through because the pieces they were intersecting with did not actually go through. So basically just making this tire solid is gonna take some time. So
It's currently 120, by the way.
yeah, so we've I mean, I think we've covered some cool stuff there. Question for y'all. No, it's not a question. I'm not gonna do it. I don't want to spend. The reason I don't want to do well. Now I'm challenging myself. Now I'm.
Somebody said you could divide it into 4 pieces, just clean a quarter of it up, and then rotate that one.
Yeah, even less than that. That's great minds think alike.
Is there like a
So
pattern to the threads?
yeah, that's what I'm wondering. So if I look right there, that is hitting right there on that corner. So if I go here. Ooh, look at that. That looks like it lines up. Super sweet. So I'm gonna pull this across like this. Bring a line out here like that. I don't know what I just did here. Undo, undo, undo. Still one of my favorite modify commands.
Quick, get some comments going here. AFK Productions. Hello, Blender 3D or Google SketchUp, and why? We'll tend to use the SketchUp here on the SketchUp channel. Blender works for you, that's fine as well, of course. And Google was sold to Trimble Inc. in 2012.
SketchUp was sold to Trimble Inc.
That's what I meant, of course. Yeah, let's see. On Vertex tools, you have Merge Close Vertices option. Probably was related to something you were doing a long time ago. Anna G, hello from Spain. Hello, Aaron. That pirate ship was awesome, and I have to agree.
Thank you. That was fun. You know, that's one of those models that I've talked about this before. I'm like, oh man, it'd be so cool if I had the time to draw a pirate ship.
Mm-hmm.
And apparently I figured out a way to do it. All right, so I'm gonna, there's my chunk. This chunk needs to then just repeat, I think 24, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 24 times. So I'm gonna grab everything here, intersect face with selection. And now I have a little bit of cleanup to do. Get rid of the extra nubbies. And I'm gonna do this just to keep this nice and neat. Just gonna clean up all the pieces that are outside of my wedge. And then what we'll do is hop in there. Make sure I don't delete too much. Sometimes I do that. Sometimes I delete stuff without realizing I'm deleting a line that is the edge of a surface on the inside. I think I'm good on that side.
A load-bearing line.
That's right. Whew, that was clean. All right. So here's one of those spots where we didn't quite close up. Do that, force that. Something's not, got a line that's not closing over here. You guys ever do this? You ever find yourself leaning closer to the screen that you can actually zoom in on? I do this. That's how I know I'm in the zone when I find myself like hitting my head against the screen on occasion. All right, that looks good. It looks like it should close. There we go. Oh, beauty. Hey. Oh, look at that. It's all come together. Ah, there, we did it. That's one half. Whew. So happy right now.
Hot dog.
Yes.
I'll tell you what I had for lunch yesterday. A hot dog. I really
All right.
did. And a hamburger.
Wow.
Not a cheeseburger. With onion. And mustard. The ketchup was all gone.
Sorry to hear that. That sounds like you were at a way better place yesterday than I was.
I was at the Trimble Westminster office.
All right. What's going on there?
The agriculture division had a meeting and then a barbecue afterwards. And I was invited. I videotaped the meeting, was invited, graciously accepted to the barbecue.
Nice. Everybody wins. I like that. All right. One side's cleaned up. I'm going to hop over here on the other side. Do some more deleting. You know, it's funny. When you do this kind of cleanup, how much work the old eraser tool gets.
Yeah, is it getting worn out? You have to get a new one?
Tired. So tired.
Remember those like gigantic sized erasers, and it was like for really big mistakes. You ever seen those?
I do remember those.
Yeah.
That was quality. It's quality humor. I don't care what you say.
And then of course the big pencils are very funny as well. I remember one time my friend broke his wrist, and then he used one of those big pencils, and he's like, "It's the only pencil I can write with."
That sounds rough.
Yeah.
That sounds not fun.
Yeah, you have to sharpen it with like a knife, you know. They just
Not a lot of classrooms have big pencil erasers or big pencil sharpeners.
Yeah,
Look at
it's
that. A little bit of geometry popped through right there.
if it's my choice to use a large pencil, why do you not accommodate me with a large sharpener? Oversized pencil sharpener.
Not
Actually,
a-
that'd probably be bad because it's like the exact same size as a child's arm.
I do see when you say it like that. That makes a lot of sense. Yeah.
I want a sharp hand. That would hurt.
Stabby hands. Stabby hands.
Edward Stabby Hands. Have you ever heard of Stabby CAD?
Stabby CAD.
STABI.
Oh, yeah. I think I have.
I heard someone mention it yesterday in that, or it was in some computer-assisted design context. But I wonder if they have the extra large sharpeners at their office.
Can't have stabby hands without a stabby hand. Stabby hands. Stabby hands. Stabby hands. Alright.
I do lean in on the screen, and then I get very angry with myself because I have the neck and shoulders like stones.
Yeah.
Yeah. My neck hurts big time, all the time. Stone shoulders and neck. That's a good way of putting it.
Stone shoulders. Like that. All right. We did it. All right. All right. I can lean back again.
Break those stones up, baby.
That's right. Crunch. There's definitely crunching noises happening. All right. So I'm going to
Gravel.
take that. And I'm not going to even make a group out of it. I'm just going to grab the geometry. Option, copy, X23. There we go. And I'm going to just soften that thing up just for myself, just to see how... Oh, my issue I have right now is I have interior planes. That's why it's not disappearing. So I'm just going to break those planes. All right. That looks like that'll work. I am going to exit out one, grab that group, and run Solid Inspector on it right now. We haven't used Solid Inspector yet, but Solid Inspector is essential. And this is why I actually have a shortcut key assigned to Solid Inspector. Or I did. I think I unassigned it because I ran out of room on my shortcuts. But if you're doing this kind of work, Solid Inspector is something you just run over and over and over again as you work. Because what we're going to do is as we come out, each level of group that we come out, as we come out one to the next, we want to make sure that we're building solid. And then I'm going to grab the hubcap, slap it on here, make sure it's solid. And I'm just going to keep working my way back out to make sure everything is solid. This got a bunch of options, some straight edges inside. I totally believe that. Some internal faces and some reverse faces. I'm just going to say fix all, see what happens. Solid Inspector's happy.
Yay.
SketchUp's happy. It's calling it solid.
And of course, don't forget to save.
Control that.
Says Steven.
All right. That looks good. I'm happy with that. All right. So where am I right now? So look how many layers deep this group is. So this is the group that actually has the geometry. It's this tire number 1. It is in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different levels. I don't need 5 levels of wrapper right now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to, at the second lowest level, I'm going to explode. I'm going to step out another level. I'm going to explode again. All right, so when I come out another level, here's where my 2 groups are finally meeting. You can see that that's inside of another level. Nope, that's the master level, and then I'm in here right now with these 2. So I'm out now. That's good. I'm in a good place now. All right, so I'm going to look at this. I'm going to scoot this out temporarily. I'm going to grab this, and I'm going to, oh man, explode again. So much exploding. I'm going to get rid of this face right here. Step back out, grab this, and I'm going to slide it back. Uh-oh. Got an issue. All right, I got some extra, whoops. I got some extra geometry. Everything is so deep, so many layers. I got some extra geometry here that I'm going to get rid of for a couple reasons. I don't need this teeny little outset of the hubcap is probably more realistic, but for the scale at which I'm printing, that's a detail I'm not going to see, so I'm not worried about that. I'm just going to have this ring hopefully be flush with the tire. Oh, I'm good. Thanks, Siri. Siri's just checking in, see if I need anything. All right. Hopefully this all flies together because we got some more Jeep to work on. Can't be spending all this time on this wheel. Actually, this will probably be the most complex. It looks like the rest of the body is actually going to be a little quicker to put together. I'm really hoping that's the case. All right, and we're done. Okay. I'm going to take this now and pull it straight back. So I'm going to grab on the green axes. And this is an issue that comes up a lot. You guys have probably seen this. Can't quite see where I'm snapping to. And this is where X-ray comes into I want to snap this into my surface and see it. So that's hitting the face of the tire. This is an issue that happens all the time, 3D warehouse or not. This hub was made with a different number of segments, it looks like, possibly, than the wheel was. So I don't have a clear connection. I don't have a just circle slots in a circle, we're good to go. This has more sides than the wheel was made with, so I get this. I get this thing where here's my faceted edges of my hub, and here's my big facets of my wheel. there's not a simple fix for that. I can't just go bump or reduce one of them or the other. So what I'm going to do in this case is I'm going to push it back in just enough so that it laps completely over the geometry of the hub. See that? And now that that's done, so if I come look inside here from the back, see that overlap right there? That's what I need. These two pieces lap over each other. Now I'm going to grab both of them and I'm going to explode them. Oh, and I got to explode the hub twice because that still is 2 layers deep. All right, now I'm going to grab everything and I'm going to right click. As I'm dealing with this too, you get that fix. So fixed geometry shows up anytime that I have something like persistent ID, information that's in a component or something like that that's incorrect, or if I have bad geometry. As I'm going through with this kind of thing where I'm making little tiny pieces of geometry and deleting and on and off like that, I usually don't worry about fixing it. I'll let it do a fix at the end, but right now I just kind of dismiss it and keep going. All right, so I'm gonna grab all this geometry, actually, before I do that, I'm gonna grab this geometry and temporarily smooth it. Not because I'm worried about how it's gonna look, but because it's easier to grab smooth geometry. See that right there? That's all one piece. This one right here, all one piece. So once it intersects, it'll be a lot easier to clean up when I can just grab those overlapping faces. So I'm gonna grab everything, intersect faces with selection, and what that should give me is this little, I should get a cut basically all the way around the wheel right here. And it's a lot of facets to cut, so it's going to take a second or two to do that.
Well, luckily we have some comments to catch up on.
All right.
Will, good morning from Australia. Hello, thanks for watching early morning. Logged in a bit late. Aaron, looks like you're using the Space Mouse Enterprise wired version. What is your main mouse? Sorry if these have already been answered, but
Nope, my main mouse right here. My main mouse. This is a, oh, there we go. Logitech Mx Master. So the reason I like this is because it just has so many programmable buttons. It's got several buttons here under the thumb, a couple scroll wheels. There's actually a button on the thumb pad that I can use to assign gestures. So my most commonly used drawing commands are actually activated through my mouse and not through the 3D mouse or shortcuts. So I do recommend, if you want to spend a little more money, they're about $100. You can actually get them on Amazon for, I think, like 60, 70, something like that. It's worth it, especially if you spend all the time. It's also a little bit heavier. It's a little bit bigger. Some mice, I feel like I'm scrunching my hand up to get on top of them. You end up with the claw hands to use it. This actually fits in my hand pretty good. It's heavier, and it's got dark force technology, I think they call it. So this will actually work on a piece of glass, which is pretty cool. I've only had once where I went to a client and tried to do a demo for them, and they had straight up just a bunch of glass conference tables. Everything was glass.
and hopefully no stones being thrown. Yeah, cool. Shell Raider says, much clickies on the MX Master there.
Yes.
Do you have assigned shortcuts on the extra buttons on that mouse? It sounds like you do for drawing commands, and then
Yes.
also for the 3D mouse, you have shortcuts assigned to those buttons as well, right?
Yep. Lots of shortcuts. Somebody once said the difference between a master and apprentice is shortcut use. I would have to agree. That's definitely a big part of it.
Thanks for your videos. I learn a lot of useful, that's where it ends, but I assume useful information. Yeah, thanks for watching.
Yes, absolutely. I'm just running through here. Had a couple pieces of geometry that didn't quite clean up. I don't know. I'm not feeling super confident about saving this hub at this point. I'll be totally honest with you guys. It's a cool model, but man, I don't know if we can save this. This is a lot of crazy geometry. Again, if we were just modeling a tire right now, I'd be all in. But as it is, oh, never mind, got it.
Arthur over on Facebook says, I find using both endpoints and profiles on very helpful when doing this type of cleaning. Besides slowing down stuff a little bit, what's your thought about using endpoints and profiles for this kind of cleaning?
I personally am not a huge fan, but I would say you're right. There are certain situations where it does save time. I don't personally love how it looks, and I get caught up with that sometimes, so that's just me. I know some people love having their endpoints on at all times. That's cool. But yeah, that falls into to each his own. But there are profiles are a big thing. I do keep profiles on quite a bit. Endpoints, I just struggle with endpoints. All right, I want to see, just for fun, I'm going to run Solid Inspector. Oh, it's not so bad. Get some stray edges out of there. The reason I'm not terribly excited about cleaning this up is because I think there's a lot of things like this where, look at this thing right here. So what I would have to do is find each of these, do that. And then that's one less problem to fix. Yeah, I'm not sure that I'm gonna. We may just simplify this hub a wee bit. Yeah, I think that's worthy. I'm gonna undo a few times.
Let's see, silent tip. Sorry, this is Google Translator. Oh yeah, sorry, I wasn't trying to make fun of your English there. Just completing the thought. So, yeah, appreciate you watching, even if it's not your native language, of course. But yes, thank you nonetheless, and appreciate your comment. Good day, says Nilsson Jr., and good day to you. Let's see. Will you be making a 3ds Max tutorial for the future?
No. We are here on official SketchUp business, and no, not only do I not use 3ds Max, but I actually get paid to use SketchUp, so probably won't happen. I never say never, but no, probably never.
Yeah, we tend to stick to the old SketchUp here on the SketchUp channel, but there's probably other videos out there that have the 3ds Max modeling, so check those ones out.
All right, I'm totally copping out right now because I want to get to the rest of this Jeep. I just made my tire. That's what we're going with, guys. It's not an awesome hub. Let's pretend it's spinning real fast. We got our nubbies on there, so that's a big part of it. Mm-hmm. That hub was the segments that were repeated around weren't actually connecting. So the pieces, when they connected, at every intersection was a little bit of a gap. So again, could have been fixed. What I would probably do is go back to the original downloaded model and re-extend all those surfaces so they hit and they actually intersected. And then, just like I did on the wheel, make a segment, make a new section, and repeat it around. Because what's in there was not something that we could have saved very easily. Speaking of saving, that was a segue.
Nice.
I'm gonna go ahead and let it fix.
What is the manipulator in your left hand? That is the 3D Connection Space Mouse Enterprise. And if you look in the YouTube description, there's a link to it. Yeah. Not necessary for SketchUp modeling, but just makes the orbiting a little bit smoother. Who is your favorite Ninja Turtle?
Leonardo.
I have to agree. Always been my favorite. He's the leader.
He's got swords.
Yeah. Swords are cool. Wrath, pretty.
You know, I will. The thing I'll say, since we're here, is that always got me about the Ninja Turtles is, you know, two of them basically had sticks, right? Michelangelo and Donatello basically had sticks. So they hit stuff with the sticks. And the other two had sharp, pokey instruments of metal. Yet nobody ever got cut. Nobody ever, you know, I mean, when they're fighting a human being, they would run over and like slice a pole down, which would fall on the, it was, you know, granted, it was a kid's show. Not originally though. You guys have ever seen the original comic? It was not family friendly necessarily.
I don't believe I've seen it. I'm most familiar with the film adaptation, and not even the first one, the second one, Secret of the Ooze, one I'm most familiar with.
Hey, I will say this about that. Some cool practical effects, full body awesomeness. I like
Toka
that.
and Razor or whatever their name were. Yeah, guys in big suits.
All right, let's see what the hidden geometry looks like here. All right, so I'm gonna get in here and start cleaning up this body, try to make it solid, which I don't think it'll be too bad. It looks like we got a couple things to address here. One of the things that is gonna happen is once we actually take this and print it, I didn't realize this, there's no relief to the actual windows or doors. So this is all gonna print as one big flat slab. So I wanna come in where I can and actually just push this in. Let's see, what should we push it in? I'm gonna push in a full inch just to give me a little bit more relief. And I'll push this in half that. These ones right here, of course, are gonna be an issue. So this is where I'm gonna save, because I had an issue with this previously. But I'm gonna go turn on joint push pull and use just standard joint push pull to grab this surface and push it in. Oops. I want to push it in, not make a copy. Push it in one. And that did break some geometry, but I'm still doing good. All right. Now we got what looks like windows.
Nice, yeah, you gotta be able to see out. You don't want just solid metal on the outside of your Jeep. Let's see, a couple comments coming in here. Can you make a modern boat? Would be nice to see how you guys handle curved faces. Although not necessarily modern, Aaron did do the pirate ship a couple weeks ago, and that's on our YouTube channel, so you can check that out. But we'll also put modern speedboat, I don't know, on the list of possible suggested models. So thank you for that.
So as I'm just to call this out real quick, guys, what I'm doing here is I'm grabbing pieces. So this hinge, this light, were all separate pieces. So I'm grabbing them, exploding them, intersecting them, running through each other, intersect, and then getting rid of the extra geometry on both sides. So there we go. Now we're just going to go into hardcore cleanup mode, where we just get rid of extra faces. Anything we don't need in order to keep the geometry that we have gets gone.
Get gone, extra. That laptop is running really great, right?
Yeah, I have very little problem. I have a MacBook Pro 2017, I think. And I have no problem with the level of SketchUp modeling I do. Some people do more rendering than I do, and they need a bigger, fancier, heavier, dutier than what I have, but I don't have any issue with what I use it for. Yeah, it works great.
Cool. I think this is related back to the Ninja Turtle thing. Woody from Toy Story does not have a gun in his holster, similar to the not cutting human beings, but rather cutting telephone poles.
But if you remember, he does get a match stuck in there, which, that's an issue too.
That could even be more dangerous than a tiny little toy gun.
That's true. But yes, that is a good point. Whoa, so here's an interesting thing. Look at this little tiny offset. Sometimes I wonder how stuff happens. It's so small. Right, I'm just gonna get rid of it. There's a little tiny edge right there. All right.
I think this is referring to the pirate ship. That boat was not so complete. Yeah, well, usually these modeling sessions, we kind of just model what we can in the time allotted. And so I believe that was no exception to that rule. But I'm sure there are some kind of tutorials or people modeling boats elsewhere on the internet there. And if there's enough people who want to see sort of more in-depth
More boating.
boatage
Boatage.
session, perhaps we will do that.
Yeah, absolutely. You guys, as always, let us know what you want to see, because that's what we want to do. And it was, I will fully own up to the fact that I'm not a boat guy. As I said in the stream, I don't know my my aft from my port. So yeah, I was winging some of that pretty hard.
She looked like she was seaworthy to me.
I thought so. I was
Get
pretty
on
happy
there.
with the way it. If I was a cartoon pirate, I would have been pretty happy with it.
I would have boarded that ship. Not even walked the plank.
All right. This is the part that this actually ends up being a little bit more fun. It's just walking through the model this way and making sure everything lines up. And I noticed these faces, I figured they would be merged together, but they weren't. So I'm going to do that now. I'm going to grab all this, intersect faces with selection, and that gives me those nice cuts. And there, oh, look here. More of the same. So none of these pieces intersect each other. Which again, not harassing anybody, not calling anybody out. That's perfectly fine if what you're looking for is something visual. In this case, we need ours to be solid, so I have to come back through here and get rid of this extra geometry.
So laptops for rendering or desktops? As with most computer stuff, I feel like you can get a lot more for your money on the desktop. It's just the laptop can easily be brought around places. And then, yeah, I got another suggestion. Use the desktop. Definitely get more for your money. Bang for your buck, as some folks might put it, on the desktop version.
Yeah, that's most people I know who do a lot of rendering have a desktop, but that's depends on your depends on your workflow, not your weekend fro, your work fro.
To and fro, and working fro. Okay.
We do have, I have talked to people who, again, they render on a desktop, and they'll have a fairly lightweight laptop that they use just to show people models or renders or work that they've done, so it doesn't really even have to carry much load at all. So that's also an option. Some people go that direction. All right. Oop, a couple more. Right here, all this. Intersect faces with selection, and we're just, each one of these, I'm just doing pretty much the same thing. Oh, something didn't break there. Oh, we got geometry against geometry. Sometimes when this happens, Geometry won't quite break because I actually have overlapping. It's kind of like a figure 8. So I can break that off and I can get rid of that. Now I might be able to come back in and force this to break separate too. And get rid of that. Just be aware of that when you have that connecting geometry. It doesn't always find the break properly. There we go. Speaking of not quite properly, I think we got the same thing going on here. Oh, actually that might not even go through. So push that, oops. Get rid of this. Ah, dang it, it's connected. It's connected. Oh, what the heck? Why didn't you just tell me that in the first place? All right, I just need these two lines to break.
Handle.
Come on, door handle.
Get it together, door handle.
You even care?
Have some self-respect. V-Ray or Lumion / Twin Motion. Usually for renderers, we say whatever works for you. Whatever certain ones will give you more control, like V-Ray, or Lumion is a little bit on the easier to use side. So, yeah, kind of just depends on what you're comfortable with, what outcome you're looking to get, and what you're looking to put into it. I've never heard of Twin Motion before, by the way. Ever you familiar with that?
That is the, it's a renderer that was, I believe, purchased by V-Ray, unless I am mistaken.
Oh, is it Unreal?
Or Unreal? Who bought Twin Motion?
I just looked up Twin Motion. It says Unreal Engine Twin Motion.
That could be. Somebody bought Twin Motion recently. All right, I'm backing it up here. I do not know what's happening with this thing, but I'm cutting it off. I reached that point where I'm gonna stop trying to fix things and I'm replacing them. Talked about that earlier. The time is now. There we go. I'm gonna chop that handle off. The nice thing is I'm working on a component, so I only have to do this once. Well, I guess I have a back handle too. Dang it. Clean that up. Here are these lines over here. And then I can grab that handle as it is. Sneak right in here. Run that through. Have these intersect faces with selection. Delete. Let's see if I can get this to work now. Got the reason I did that. Take this and just slide it forward just a skosh. This is one of the things I like about 3D mouses. Oh.
You mean mice?
Mouses? 3D mice is the ability to get in here in between geometries. Makes it a little bit easier to do this kind of cleanup. All right, there we go. And again, not worried about loose geometry because cleanup will take care of that in a little bit. Why is this? What if this is an important part of?
That's where you put the key in.
Well, I just disappeared it.
Keyless entry? Cool. Twin Motion was purchased by Unreal Engine and it is free until November 2019.
All right. Has anybody out there used Twin Motion? I haven't actually ever had a chance to try it out. I'm curious what anybody thinks of it.
So it's like a real-time...
I don't think it's a real-time. I think it's a I believe it's just a traditional rendering engine. You guys, of course, correct me if I'm mistaken on that, but I believe it's just a...
Well, this is based on Unreal.
Is that just a now thing, or is that how it's always been?
I don't know. This person says it's great and light. It says, yeah, it's real time. And also a no-brainer if you don't want to spend money on rendering. Yeah.
Free's a great price.
Yeah, can't argue with that. Let's see. Guys, do you think you can earn some extra bucks doing some 3D modeling for selling online? Depending on quality and the type of models, of course. But is it worth it? I personally couldn't do that. I don't know how to model. But I'm sure there's some kind of website out there that you can sell your models to. Some kind of...
Yeah, I've heard people, putting their stuff up on Turbo Squid or some of those other sites, and if I think that falls solidly into if you enjoy doing that, then it's a great thing to do. If you enjoy doing it and you can create quality. If you don't like 3D modeling, then I would not recommend that as a thing to pursue. But yeah, I know some people out there do actually make some money off of that, so it is a possibility.
Apparently Twinmotion is the, quote, uglier cousin of Lumion, end quote.
Aww.
But I heard Twinmotion is a cheap date as far as cousins go, so
That's right.
there's good and bad with everybody. 3D Warehouse needs a sell/buy modeling section. Yeah,
That's a thought.
interesting.
Um,
I know we have some of them, like manufacturers have their own models on there of the
Mhm.
specific products and stuff. It's still free, but at least that's like a official type of model. But
right. It's from good-looking models from the actual manufacturer.
please, I need help printing my SketchUp model in layout. Do we have a specific how to print with layout, like Skill Builder, or?
There's a bunch of different videos out there. I would recommend going to our YouTube channel and searching for the term layout, because yeah, there's stuff available.
Sketchucation has a store for SketchUp models. Check that one out. Yeah, peep it. And then they say,
Ooh.
never make 3D Warehouse paid. Yeah.
Okay.
I call it 3D Warehouse. You know what I mean?
Boom. All right. So, you gotta be kidding me.
Well, you can just flip it, right?
Oh no. I
You're saying
panicked.
it wasn't
I
a-
saw this hardware over here and I thought
Oh.
that this was a different one. Okay.
So it is 2 o'clock. I don't know if usually we take a break around 2 o'clock, but you can keep riding if you want.
Yeah,
or-
I'm on a roll right this second. I'm gonna go a couple minutes longer.
Sure.
Biology will force me to break sooner or later.
Bio break.
But yeah, this is actually looking pretty nice. Not too bad. I got a little bit of an issue down here. I'm not 100% sure why this is happening, but I have some reversed faces. So generally when you do this, what I'll do is I'll come out here, click on the side that I want. So I want it to be white like this, so I'm gonna say orient faces. And unless this isn't changing when I hit orient faces. So there's some geometry that's causing confusion as far as what way this should be facing. So there's a couple of things you could do here. One is to turn on hidden geometry, and I can come through here and individually reverse these faces. That would work. That could be time consuming though. you can try reversing one of the faces, like that one big face I just reversed, and then try orienting faces again. Sometimes that's enough to like kick it and just say, pay attention. The other thing is to not stress about it too much until you get to the point where you're dealing with a solid. So right now I don't have a solid, obviously. I have just a big chunk missing. So what I might do is grab these two halves, make them a group, go into that group and explode the components. And that should, merge that together. And now I got a little gap tooth grin right there. Let's close that up. There we go. And I'm just going to walk down this seam line right here. Oops. There we go. Look at that. See if there's any other gaps where I welded it together down the middle. Woo! Turn it upside down. It's like watching a fancy movie. All right, so that all looks good. So I'm going to go ahead and run Solid Inspector right now. Of course, there's a nested instance. All right, we're inside now. Now what you got? There's a couple issues. Not terrible. All right, so I'm going to get rid of the stray edges. That's fine. That's an easy one. 2 face holes. Go ahead and fix that. Now, this can be a little scarier than it needs to be. You see these big numbers like 384. You have to remember that a circle of 24 sides is actually 24 edges that could have an issue. So this 384, I might be able to fix that by closing a hole or two. So if I had a long strip where 2 pieces of geometry are supposed to join together but didn't, that could be like 200 unconnected edges. So a lot of times you get a big number here at first, it's like, oh no. But then once you zoom in and you take a look and you're like, oh, this couple of pieces, couple of modifications take care of a lot of that geometry, especially when you're dealing with like curved situations. So where I have a bunch of small, little teeny tiny disconnected curved edges, it can be really, oh, here we go. That's probably a bunch of those issues right there. So not worth being scared about just yet. So it looks like I got a couple little holes in my mesh up here, headlight right up here, this hinge. All right, so what I'm gonna do is, I can't leave Solid Inspector open while I work on geometry, so I'm gonna go ahead and close it. I'm gonna zoom in here, see what's my problem. My problem is I have a surface here, and then that's separate from the main surface back here. See that? So I actually created a void, kind of a solid in my solid, and that's not a thing that can happen. So I'm gonna go ahead and just click on this back piece and delete it. And this is symmetrical, so I'm gonna have to do it on this side too. And then where was my other one? I had another little chunk right there. Look at that. See the little tiny piece? Delete. And again, symmetric. So I'm gonna zoom over here. What I could have done, something else I could have done, coulda, woulda, shoulda, is I could have actually closed up that one half and run Solid Inspector on it and see if I could, find any of my problems before I repeat it. That way I wouldn't be doing this where I have to go through and delete this geometry 2 times, once on either side.
Let's see. Making a paid section would add incentive for people to make higher quality models to sell. Some people would rather buy something than have to fix it, like in this video. Yeah, I think there are a bunch of platforms out there that are kind of paid and have a lot of, high quality kind of curated models and stuff like that. I think the good thing about 3D Warehouse is that anybody can create and download stuff from there. So there's definitely a lot of stuff. You might have to do a little searching for exactly what you're looking for, but there are a whole bunch of models up there. Let's see. Twinmotion is a standalone app that allows you to import your SketchUp model. Not real-time between SketchUp and Twinmotion, and is heavily biased rendering engine that is a bit on the cartoonist side. Alrighty.
Cool.
Sorry if I'm not the zooming and panning. So if you had a question about the 3D mouse, there's a link to it in the YouTube description. But We don't have a review of it on our channel, but I know we do have a couple videos that are showing how it's used and what difference it makes and that kind of stuff. So,
I think if you search our channel for 3D mouse, you'd probably find them.
yeah.
Oh, I had that one up here, didn't I? Alright, so I got something. What is this? I just heal it? Nope. Can I delete it and draw back in? Yep. Oh, sometimes fixing so much work. Just wrecking ball and hop back at it. All right, so I'm still seeing this big number without seeing it. Oh, look at that. Same place. This is probably telling.
Yikes.
Same place that I have my front back issue. I also got
Your FBI?
solid issue. I have issues with my solidity. So we're gonna hop in there in just a second, take a look right here and see what my problem is. All right, yeah, that's an issue.
Funky.
So let's see if is that actually a separate face? Delete. That's easy. Now what
I
I
think
can,
the thing, yeah, it didn't get
There
pushed
we
up
go.
all the way.
all right. Delete, delete, delete. Just hop over here right quick. So I was saying this, somebody asked this, again, this is not the 3D mouse channel, but one of the things I do like about the 3D mouse is this stuff we're doing right now where I get to real quick and easy hop inside of a model. That's definitely easier to do with the 3D mouse. So there are advantages.
Because traditionally the zoom, like if you use
Right.
the
It will eventually
scroll wheel
slow
is
me
based-
down and then phase through and then go to the next surface, jump inside. All right, now I'm inside of it.
Yeah.
So
Because
I
like
guess it
based
wasn't
on
horrible.
how far away your cursor is to something, that's how fast
Absolutely.
it'll zoom. And if you're
Oh,
right up
yep,
next
look
to
at that.
something, it doesn't work.
That kind of falls into what is
That looks
this?
like the wall in here. That's the checkerboard. You
So
wanna-
if I look through here where I'm having all these problems, look at this. Who did this? Come on, seriously. Come on, man. Oops. All right, I'll clean that up in a second. I'm just
It's a
gonna get all
series of
these.
tubes.
Yeah, so I did not, this one's on me. I did not properly go back in and clean this up after intersection. First mistake ever again. All right, I'm just gonna try drawing one line all the way down, see if I can heal this all in one
Fingers
go.
crossed for you, bud. Oh no.
Not so much. All right, no big deal. Oops, missed it. Here, look at that. That's fun. That's nice.
That is not gonna 3D print well.
That is definitely a hole in the mesh. I'm poking around to see how best to clean that up. So again, hindsight being what it is, this pipe didn't actually push and cross all the way through the other pipe. So as I'm deleting faces now, it's reminding me that it's got issues. We'll work through them. We'll work through them, guy. Don't even worry. There we go. Close that up. We got too much stuff. All right. Oh man. So there's also a point at which you look at things and you go, maybe it'd be easier to go re-import that last file. Oh, there we go. That's gonna make it a little easier. That's not so bad. Never mind. I was making that more difficult than I needed to. That closed up all right. So we do the same thing here. Top down here. Oops. There we go. Ah, and you know what? Component editing strikes again because...
Oh, you gotta do the other side too. Are you sure that thing's on both sides? Maybe you can just delete it on one side.
Believe that, that was more than half of my my errors. So, and I bet, check this out, let's right click here. Go out here. Orient my faces. Orient faces. All right. There we go. It's all same color. Actually, I'm wondering if I could do this easier by delete this piece right here and then push this through and then clean it up afterwards. You know, I'll show what I'm doing in just one sec. What's that? It's an adventure. Cleaning up someone else's model is an adventure. All right, so what? I don't even know what this is. Oh, now I do. Okay. Nope. Just intersected the entire model with itself. That may take a second longer than I was thinking. But yeah, we're actually really close. All we had to do is take the suspension, move it where it's supposed to be, because if you guys remember, it didn't quite line up with the tires. By didn't quite, I mean didn't line up at all. Put it where it's supposed to be, which is good because it's actually its own separate component. So put it where it needs to be, and then intersect that with the bottom. Fortunately, everything in that bottom section just runs into the bottom, a flat plane on the bottom of the body. So that's gonna be real easy to intersect and clean up. And then intersect that, the axles, with the tires, and we will have something that is solid-ish. This may be our break. It's time to take a break. Can't believe I selected everything. Oh, there we go. Okay, it's back. Oh, all right. All right, let's see. And this got a little funky up here, but all right, cleaning up okay. Not sure what this...
Hi, LTEL baby. Thanks for tuning in. We're actually just about to take a break, so sorry for your timing if you just showed up. But we'll be back certainly. We're not breaking yet, but
Sorry, I got excited again. Sorry, stuff started happening. All right, I'm gonna clean up these pipes. So I ran them. Oops, didn't run this one long. I ran these long so we wouldn't have the same problems on the other side, I hope. All right, I'm gonna grab all of it, do a quick intersect. And it will be quick because I'm not gonna select the entire Jeep this time. Delete these extra pieces off, and so I still got a little bit of an overlap there, but I can close that up. Again, I'm not worried about these intersection lines, because we're sending an STL out. Everything's gonna be triangulated. That doesn't matter. All right, let's get rid of this.
Frosty Flytrap thought the left cameras of you were one single camera until you lifted your arms up. We try to trick you in
Yeah.
every time. We try to line it up so that it looks like.
My hands don't get to go outside, just the rest of me. So the paleness. Yeah, there's some weird geometry going on with the way that stuff intersected. I may have to, let me finish cleaning this up and then we'll run Solid Inspector again real quick and see what happens. All right, let's, a couple things. Try doing the old Orient faces. Much better. One more Solid Inspect for the break. We're close, we're close. Couple internal edges to clean up. I don't even know where they are. I can't, oh, there we go. Whoops, how did I do that? That was probably me. Well, unless one of you guys did that. Very funny. Every once in a while, you guys might see that. Every once in a while, when I get into more complex meshes like this, you get an extra face that shows up when you close a mesh. I'm not sure what causes it, and I can't never duplicate it intentionally, but every once in a while I'll see that. All right, how's that looking? We're close, guys. We are real close. I keep talking about stopping, and then I keep not stopping. Oh, here's one of them. So something happened where I changed geometry and it ended up creating, I have my big surface and then an extra surface on top. You can tell if you pick the big mesh, see the difference there between those two? Let's go on the outside, it'll be easier to see. But usually I can just select that and delete it, and I don't know, whatever it is, it's pretty easy to heal back up. All right, so nothing else is glaringly apparent. Yeah, I'm gonna run and use the coffee machine.
Good idea.
We'll hop back in here. We'll keep at this though. We're close. So we spent a lot of time on that. I have strong opinions about wheel. But we'll come back at it and get this thing solid and ready to print. I feel confident we can finish this today. So
Cool.
all right, so we'll take a quick break, about 5-10 minutes, and we'll get back into it. Thank
See
you
in a bit,
guys.
Yep. We are back. We are back. We are getting Doug back. Okay. Let's see. That's right.
Yep.
Back.
How's things?
From the breaker. I feel like we always say it's okay. We'll be back in like 10 minutes, and then we just like can't get enough. We got to get back.
That's right.
Back at it. Real quick, looks like somebody asked, "Are the wheels hidden on another layer?"
We
do you have them on
actually-
a separate layer. Or?
They're not on a separate layer. They're actually a separate component. So when I click into this component, everything else goes away.
Because you're hiding rest of model right now.
Right. I got hide rest of model turned on. So that's where they are. Not quite sure what's going on. Oh, I think I got, these are surfaces in here, so. Delete, delete. Oh, there's more. It's actually there we go. Nope, don't do that. Not quite sure what's happening up here. Oh, there we go. Okay, how about now? Ugh, it's always these little tiny details that end up causing issues too. And again, like I was saying before, this is no fault of the person who made this model. They never created this with the intention of having it 3D printed, so I can't like say it was poorly modeled or anything like that. I wouldn't put that on it. But this is the little things that end up catching you and causing you to have to run back and clean things up. All right, we're almost there. And I will keep saying that. So this might be an extra surface. If I delete that, it's still there. Probably the same thing here. Select that surface, delete it. I'm gonna, nope, don't have one down there. All right. So sometimes you get to this point with Solid Inspector where it says, you still have problems, but you can't see them. Oh, as soon as I said that, I saw something. Just delete that real quick. All right. When you get to that point, what you can do is hit the tab key. Tab will jump to, it'll put the little circle around one of the problems. So now I know I can zoom in here. As long as I keep zooming in on the circle, I'll eventually hit whatever that problem is. Ah, I fixed this on the other side. I didn't fix it on this side. Had a little bit of overlap here. So I'm in here. Erase, erasey. Cool, cool, cool.
Cool, man. Hey, man. How did you set it up to hide what's not selected when the tires went away? That's a function of hide rest of model. So which is under the view menu, view component edit, and then you can either hide similar components, or if you're inside of a container, a group or component, it'll hide everything outside of that. So you're just looking at what you're currently, the wrapper or the container that you're currently inside of.
Yes.
And the 3D mouse, yes. A lot of 3D mouse talk this time. But yeah, so it's the 3D Connection Space Mouse Enterprise. And then in the YouTube description, it says Aaron's mouse. And then there's a little link there. You can click on that, go to the website, and see the description of it. But yeah, that's the one. Space Mouse Enterprise.
Yeah. If you go there, tell them Aaron sent you. I'm trying to get a mouse named after me. So
You get like a kickback or something if they say, "Hey, come on down and mention."
that's right.
Mention you saw this ad.
Tell them Aaron sent you.
Yeah.
No kickback yet, but
You got to build your clout up a little bit.
that's right.
It's always about you got to build an audience and then you monetize, right?
That's right. People have to care what you're doing before you can charge them for it.
Before you put your name on it and signature
Right.
Aaron's mouse.
Did I fix it? It did. Sweet, we're almost there. Another issue. Oh, come on, man. What are you talking about? See, getting in close again. Ugh. It's because I care. I care, so I got to get close. Now I'm basically troubleshooting stuff that are problems that I did not make myself. It's like that one, like this one I got here. But this ends up being a lot of what you clean up with this process is spots where, like I said, under no fault of the creator of this model, just geometry that was made that, well, this one was mine, but geometry that was not cleaned up or anything like that because it didn't matter for the initial use of the model. So, but Solid Inspector makes it awful easy to find these things.
Yeah, so it seems like if you get to a certain point where you can make it close enough to a solid, then using the Solid Inspector to kind of find these really minuscule things.
Yeah.
If you're trying to make it a manifold thing for printing.
Yeah, and it's...
That's probably is that like the workflow you would suggest is get it as close to a solid as you can?
Because if you're modeling, you know some of the stuff. You know what you're gonna have to do to, there's holes in it. There's a bunch of stuff you're gonna have to do. I don't bother with Solid Inspector till I'm past that point, where I know, okay, these pieces need to be. I need a back on the tire. I need, that stuff happens first. Ooh, look, 3 fixed reverse faces, and everything's solid.
Print it.
Select it.
And it's a group.
Select it all. I'm just do a quick soften. They look nice. Too much. Bring it down. So this is the thing I was looking at before. I'm kind of okay with the doors not showing up, but I really wanted the windows at least to get pressed in there a little bit. So that's what it will print like. If you do something like this and you want to, seams are something that comes up a lot. So if you want to print something like that's solid that has a seam in it, you have to think about the scale of that seam. To print a noticeable seam between two pieces, you're going to need to have at least a 32nd of an inch, 16th of an inch maybe, a little bit of a gap. That ends up being a fairly big chunk of this if this whole thing is only 3 inches long. So that's your call. I'm not going to bother with going in there and making that, messing with that. I'm good with this level of detail for the model that I'm doing. All right, so we're gonna look at a couple more things. Let's look at the bumper real quick because I think this won't be too bad. Ever heard that one before?
Oh, just like the hubcap wasn't bad?
Yeah, I might be lying. I might actually retract that now. All right, so this actually. All right, I'm leaving this off to the end. Bumpers are at the end. I want to get this. See, now this is where I start thinking about what do I actually want to put in here. This is a bunch of little tiny pieces. This thing right here is not going to print. I mean, if the bottom of my Jeep is this wide, we're talking about something that's like a string of filament right here. This is like the width of one pass. So I probably wouldn't even worry about that.
I also don't think you're losing too much integrity of the Jeep
model
design.
Yeah.
I don't know how true to life the offset differential is on that.
Yeah, I'm scrapping it. I'm pulling it, And what I'm going to do instead, in place of that, I'm going to come in here and I'm going to offset and pull this out. I'm just arbitrarily pulling it out right now because I want to see what that looks like. Okay, I think that we could make something along those lines work. May have noticed
Oh, they don't
they
even line
don't
up.
quite line up. So I'm going to grab this one and I'm going to pull it horizontally until it lines up with that one. Same thing here. Let's see which guy. I'm going to pull this one forward from here to here. All right, that looks better. And something I did just do, because these are components, I just shot a stick basically right into the back of the Jeep, which is fine because this is what will actually connect that up. That's good. And I have to decide if that is enough of a connection. I don't think it is though. What I will probably do instead is right about here. Right about here. Drop straight down. Come over. Go across to here. Pull that across. So I'll create something like this. Oops. Oops. Didn't intersect. I'll break this real quick. All right, now I can do this, and I'm gonna actually do this too. Give me even more connection to the bottom. And you notice I had left this long for a couple reasons. One is I actually want to clear the wheel well, but also that causes less of an issue for this component because this component is, again, it's inside here, but that big chunk is just sitting in like that. So when I join it, all that will matter is that piece right there. All right, so that looks pretty cool. That looks really cool.
Yeah.
I like this. All right, I'm gonna join, at this point, I'm gonna join together the wheels to the body, which means they're no longer become, oh no, I'm not, hold on. I'm actually gonna hide this real quick because I do have more pieces to bring in. These pieces never intersected the main body. So I'm gonna grab that. It should be 4 components. I'm going to, again, group them together, go into that group, select everything and explode it. And then I'm just gonna do some quick intersection on the back to get that joined to the main body. Let's see. These both come far enough in. Pull that down a little bit so I don't have that same intersecting with the face issue I had before. All right, and I'm going to grab this. Intersect face with selection. And then I can, everything's so softened. Oh, this is actually, this is a cup. This is the inside, like that side of it. Woo, you have me tricked, Jeep.
Jeeps are a classic trickster.
That get me every time.
Arcane trickster.
All right. When you have stray geometry, actually I could leave that geometry there. I could actually just let intersect pick it up later. So as I say, if you have geometry like that, if you delete the surface and leave the lines, you can come back a lot of times and triple click on the lines once they're disconnected from a face. What's going on here? Oh, that's right. Pull that through to here. Mm-hmm. Actually, I should just leave that. I don't need that. Maybe this is some kind of of some importance. It's on all of them. Oh, it's a component, so of course it's on all of them.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna grab all this. One last intersect, well, not last, on the body. Intersect with selection, delete, 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 delete. Extensions, clean up, erase stray edges. Check for solid. All right, got a couple. Whoop, teeny tiny. All right, it's probably, I'm gonna go ahead and guess that there's another one right down here. No, was it flipped? Nope. All right, check again. Oh, 3 reverse faces, fix it, good to go. All right, now our body's done. Explode this again. Trying to unnest some stuff here. All right,
You gotta
so
leave the nest at some point. You know?
I've heard tell. All right, I'm gonna grab this and I'm going to cut it. I'm gonna paste it out, oops. Edit, paste in place to put that group, the bumper group, outside of the Jeep altogether. So now I'm on the outside, and here I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and did I put inside? I got rid of my spare tire's gone.
You hid it, didn't you?
Oh, I hit it. Thanks for paying attention. So remember, folks, when you're modeling at home, always have your mat. Keep an eye on what you're doing.
But you just never hide anything. And I was like, huh.
Yeah.
Hiding.
So hiding is one of those things that you can get some people going on when or if you should ever hide anything. I'm just gonna explode all of these. Well, hiding, I use hiding temporarily. So if something's in my way, I gotta get it out of my way so I can keep working, I will hide it. That is only if hide rest of model or hide like components doesn't work for me, then I'll select something and hide it. Other than that, I never put hide, never use hide because, well, for me, I forget about it, and it's just not a good way to control things. And then you have hidden stuff in your. So many people have problems with their models, which result from them having a whole bunch of hidden geometry and not correctly dealing with it. All right, so I'm gonna grab, you know what, hold up. I'm gonna undo here. My tires aren't the same dimension out. See that? See this gap? This is different on both sides.
Oh, yeah.
Not a lot. And again, when I shrink it down, it's not gonna be a big difference, but I'm gonna try to get it to closer. I'm eyeballing. That's right. All right, we'll take this one too. Actually, these two look closer. All right, I'm gonna
Is that block in the middle of the Jeep?
Oh, that is an excellent question. Let's see. One and 15/16. 1 5/16, yeah. Line that up right there. All right, now re-explode. Can't explode things more than once in most workflows.
Also, does exploding it upside down help?
Yeah.
To mesh it?
Mm-hmm.
Mesh it up?
Helps control the explosion.
It's like
Parts
when they
sunk everywhere.
detonate like nuclear weapons underground.
I spilled coffee all over myself.
I won't tell.
Thank you. All right, you come up here, grab this mess right here, intersect face with selection, and I just hop inside, and this would be clean up, delete, delete. And then I will be able to also get rid of this surface altogether. And I have a bunch of lines here showing up. Again, don't stress about those. Those will just be something we'll delete up with cleanup in just a few seconds. All right. Here we go. All this extra geometry, anything that's not an external face, I want to erase. All right, and then we'll just run extension, cleanup, stray edges. Boom, there we go, we're good. Do it again on the back. Grab it all. Intersect faces with selection. Again, triple click, delete, delete. Alright, just about there. See the end of the tunnel from here. Alright, well, one more time, clean up. Actually, probably not the last time. Get rid of our straight edges again, I should say. And then we got this thing right here. This is actually pretty easy because select all that and this, right click, intersect faces with selection. And signal a while because I again grabbed the entire tire and all those little nubby geometries. So I just asked it to do a lot more than it probably should have. So, 2.5 seconds lost there.
Every little bit counts. It all adds up.
Oh, you're supposed to say don't worry about it. That was
Take
fine.
a penny, leave a penny. Don't worry about it.
There we go. All right, that looks pretty sweet, but it's distinctly missing bumpers. This corner I cut down here wasn't so bad when I had bumpers on there, and then I lost my bumpers, and now not as cool. Much better.
Yep.
So, what do we got? We're at 3 o'clock, so I'm gonna set myself a time limit. I'm gonna give myself half an hour to get this bumper clean enough to attach. That's my thing. All right. So let's see, what do we got as far as pieces? Cool. All right, so this right here, gotta clean up these vents. Oh man.
Clock's ticking.
Ugh. Can't say that's helping.
You want me to try to find that horn sound effect again?
Oh geez, no. That was rough.
I could do something.
Okay, so the reason this isn't as easy to clean up as I wanted it to be, what about what I want? Is that this whole thing is actually domed this way. You kind of see it there. So none of these are in line with anything else. Let's see if I can do this. I'm going to assume that this geometry all came from the same place. Oops. I spend my whole time closing up these stupid gaps. All right. So, oh, cheater. This doesn't even close it up.
Could you use some kind of
Lofting?
yeah.
Let's. We'll use Curviloft to clean this stuff up. All right, so I'm gonna get rid of my extra geometry, and I'll have to loft, because each one's different, so I'll have to loft a couple different times, but I'm kind of okay with that. I think what I might be able to do to speed this up is over soften it. Why are these not softening? Oh, because they're just geometry floating here. All right, now we're talking. So softening is kind of cool because it'll temporarily get rid of those edges. So when I come in here to select my sections for lofting, it's gonna make it real quick and easy to just grab that outline rather than have to go pick all the edges.
Mark, bopping in for a quick view before locking up for the day. Not related to this video, but a stream on creating dynamic components would be cool for the future. Yeah, cool. We'll put it on the list. I know dynamic components have always been a thing that we have not had enough documentation for how cool it is, but yeah, we'll put it on the suggestion list, and perhaps it'll be coming to you sometime in the future. Thanks for the suggestion. And thanks, of course, for tuning in.
All right, that did not work out the way I wanted it to work out. It is not lofting for me. This is actually a pretty simple shape, but I can still make this work, I think. Because I think I can take this, make that a group, and I think, let's see, can I put this here?
And just kind of rotate it into place or something?
That's kind of what I was thinking, but no, I can't. It's a different size. All right. Oops.
Somebody asked if weld was an option for, would that help for the Curviloft?
We try. Let's try. Let's give it a shot. Let's grab this, weld it, grab it again, Curviloft it. Does not like that for some reason. I'm trying to figure out why. What the problem is?
Because it's still like a closed loop, right? There's not any extra geometry you're selecting.
I don't think so. I mean, like, because with Curviloft, if something's not right, it tells you.
That, yeah.
Oh, but look at this. I can't even get this to close up. Oh, this is...
You always say there's something therapeutic about stitching.
I do like it. I like it less when I got a timer going. But yeah, I mean, honestly... I'm really trying to think of a way to shortcut this and make this simple to close up, but I can't think of any better way to do this than to do this. I think that I'm gonna see if they're symmetrical to the other side though. So I might be able to grab these ones, just do half of them and copy it over. If not, I might be able to cut the whole thing in half and just mirror it over, which would be good because if I can get half a solid, that'll save me some time too. All right, and one more. One way or another, this will be the last one.
Somebody suggested instead of selecting first and then using Curviloft, use the Curviloft first and then select. I don't know if that...
I believe it sees the same geometry, but I could give it a shot real quick.
This is the
Never hurts
nightmare
to
with
try.
entities created by others. Maybe speed drawn, no consistency, just for representation, etc.
Yeah, and that's what we're saying. Depending on what this was used for, this may have been good enough, but yeah, I'm not going to argue with what you're saying. right, so I'm gonna grab these three, copy them over here, scale them, back of words. Oh, flip along, yeah, I know. Woo, look at that, it worked.
Nice.
Oh, son of a gun. Please be in plane. You couldn't help me out there. All right, there we go. I don't care. Closing it. I'm gonna stop saying that we're almost done or things are positive, because as soon as I do, things stop being that.
Yep. Aim low and avoid disappointments.
That's right. If you aim low enough, you'll never be upset.
Mm-hmm.
Or I have a t-shirt that says, high hopes, low expectations. Oh, that was nice.
That's a cool looking looker.
I guess this is not a...
This person says, Aaron, I feel bad for you, man. Treat yourself today with a nice long drink afterwards.
I could actually think of a lot worse things to do right now, you guys. I know. It's part of my mutation. No, it's, but I mean, well, I don't know.
I'd rather be hand stitching as your
I'm not gonna,
sticker.
that's right. It's not too bad. I can think of worse things to do. That's what I'm saying. Working with somebody else's models is not the ideal situation, obviously. But I will say that if I had to draw a Jeep from scratch, it would probably be more work than what I'm spending right now. So I guess that falls into the what's your mindset like?
Is this like a headlight or something? What is that?
I don't know. It's like a screw hole or something. It doesn't exist in my world. See? Gone. Okay. Get in there. Get in there. Get in there. All right. Toe hooks. No, toe hooks are too small. We don't need those. All right. So these pieces are good. Now I got to close it all up. I'm just going to grab... so deep into everything. So many groups. Oh, let's do this too. All right.
It's a deep burn. It's so deep. I don't know if you heard me counting. I did over 1,000. So it's a deep thing as well. Come on, Aaron. We believe in you. This is a comment, not me saying this.
Oh.
Tick tock, tick tock.
All right. Now is when we're going to start throwing in large masses of geometry. GSD, as they say. Get stuff done.
Mm-hmm. Precisely.
All right. I'm going to go from here.
Exactamo.
Ooh.
That's true. I can
International.
speech a little. I can speech. Yep. I'll leave it at that. You guys.
Good speeching, Matt.
Hey, I can speech okay. You asked me.
I'm a professional speaker. Where I work. All right. And I don't care about that. Nor that.
Devin over on Facebook says, Step 1, delete anything you got from 3D Warehouse.
On occasion.
It seems like in the case of the hubcap,
Yes, that's exactly how it worked out, man. All right. I gotta turn on my hidden geometry because I can't tell what I'm... Holy cow! Look at that mess. All right. Let's see if we can simplify that. Oh man, seriously? Hey, this would be a great place to loft. If it'll work. And this is just a rectangle, so that can be triangulated. Right here, quick stitch might work. How am I on that half-hour timeline I just set?
Well, that was at 2:50, so you're about 17 minutes left.
Oh, sweet. I got this. Don't
But
even
you
worry
also,
about it. Whoops.
You did say, well, it's about 3 o'clock, and it's now 3:03. So
You're holding my rounding against
if you
me?
want to round, depends on your rounding. If you want a round corner, or if you want to
I like that.
Shado round, Fredo shear.
Shado. I like that. He's a less positive version of Fredo.
He's the evil twin.
All right, so have you tried Shado Corner? Oh, that guy's a jerk. Always making fun of my models. No, I'm not saying Fredo's a jerk. I've heard he's a very nice guy from the few people I know who have met him. All right, so that there is half a solid bumper. And now we got some crap out here. So this piece extends this way. All I'm doing now is grabbing this bumper leaf, I don't know what you'd call this thing, and making it extend out into the main body of the bumper so I can intersect it and make it part of the solid. I got this. I still got this. Wait, what happened here? The nice thing, again, and this is specific to this particular use case, is that when I'm 3D printing, I'm not really concerned about small geometry. Oops, I don't know why I connected right there. So stuff like this ugly stitching isn't going to matter once I get down to the size of the model I'm talking about. All right, so I got a couple more pieces. Actually, use scale to bring this back in so it intersects. And then I can take these two pieces right here.
Could you make a stream showing the Artisan tool? Have you ever used Artisan?
A little bit. It's been a while, to be honest. I was actually talking today about Mindsight Studios is the company that makes Artisan. Dale Martin's over there. And I've always said, you know, if it comes from Mindsight, it's a solid tool and it's good. I got kind of early on as I started getting into more organic modeling, got into the sub-D workflow, and I just kind of ended up using that more than Artisan, which nothing wrong with Artisan. It would be interesting. I should learn up on it myself, and maybe we could do a Artisan versus sub-D, not versus, Artisan and sub-D, like a comparison. That would be kind of cool.
Yeah. Yeah, thanks for the suggestion. We'll add it to our list.
All right, so now I'm in here. Just going to delete these inside faces. Delete these edges up here. So close, so close. Run solid inspector on this piece. So each piece, again, as I'm going through this, I want to make sure that each piece stands on its own as a solid. That way it's going to be a lot easier to merge with the next piece. Worst thing is fix. I don't understand. Oh. Piece on top of piece there. No. What's going on here? section outside and, oh, there we go.
What tool would you model a sofa with? Organic shapes.
I personally would go to sub D because it's what I'm most comfortable with. But as we were just talking about, a lot of people like Artisan for that kind of thing. But yeah, organic shapes, for sure something you're going to want to get a subdivision tool of some sort involved with.
Yeah, I mean, I think the kind of modeling that Aaron's doing right now is because of the existing geometry that came in from 3D Warehouse, so this wouldn't be kind of
No, this is not how I would
workflow.
model it.
But yeah, for what we got right now, this is what's being done to clean up existing geometry. He's using a mouse, and what he's using a 3D mouse. So that's the 3D Connection Space Mouse Enterprise. Yeah, you don't need to use that tool, but it's just easier, or not easier, but looks a little nicer for orbiting for when you're presenting to people and showing it on a, for example, a live stream. A little smoother. And you can jump inside geometry quickly, as you just did.
Oh, guys, we are so close. All right, so I'm gonna take. What is this mess right here? I don't like this.
Is there a possibility for plugin creators to do a joint stream? Yeah, no, absolutely. We the streaming thing is definitely something we have been doing for a little bit, but we're always looking to improve and do different stuff on. So yeah, it's definitely a possibility to have somebody else on the stream or doing the stream instead or something like that. Certainly something we're open to doing. So yeah, there's not any particular roadblocks for the why we haven't done that yet. Just yeah,
Haven't done that yet.
Haven't only done it a handful of times, so just haven't done it yet.
All right, I'm gonna Adebo this. Bring this line straight up. Same thing over here. This is an extension that I have not used, like, as a, growing up in SketchUp. But man, now that I use it a little bit, it is such a useful tool. So to do things like this geometry, be able to just grab an edge and pull it up, that's huge. It's a big, big, big time saver. So I really like it. All right, that's closed. Intersect this. Not quite sure what's going on down here. Oh, it's closed. Who cares? Alrighty. Should probably put a shortcut on PushLine here because I'm using it so often. I'm kind of feeling as I'm doing this that maybe some of this geometry was a little arbitrary just to kind of get everything to close up. I'm going through here and I'm looking at some of the stuff that I don't really know that it's that important that piece is right there. All right, so I'm gonna grab one final chunk here.
Anna says, Aaron, if it makes you feel any better, I'm cleaning up a typography in AutoCAD For a name, I'm cutting on thick wooden plank for a baby shower. Years of architecture for this.
There you go. I'm sorry to hear that. That does not sound like a great time. But, all right. It's good. It's good we're hanging out together then. There we go. And this will yield a solid. That.
Why is SketchUp stalling in developing new built-in tools? We did not see any improvement since years in the modeling tools, I feel. Yeah, I think SketchUp kind of has a base set of tools that are sort of tried and true, and then a lot of the extra stuff comes from extensions. Heard a gentleman earlier today talk about SketchUp like a smartphone, and then the extensions would be the apps that you install on there. So kind of getting it to do exactly what you want to do can be helpful to use the extensions if you want. We've talked about this sort of organic modeling or some kind of bringing in external stuff, or I mean, there's a million things that that extensions can do. So yeah, we definitely try to keep the base software kind of simple and easy to learn. That's one of the things that makes SketchUp special and different from everyone else's. So yeah, that's what I would say for what you said.
Oh, there we go. So confused. Oh. All right.
So anybody out there plans for the weekend? What are you guys doing? Over here we got 3:14 p.m. Friday afternoon. We got a long weekend coming up. That
That's
means
right.
some of you folks must be in the actual weekend itself. Do you have any particular plans? Doing anything fun? I don't. But I'm sure something fun will happen. I'm optimistic of that point. But what about you guys? Seeing any films? Are you enjoying the great outdoors? Are you doing anything otherwise? Work. Okay, that's a shame. I'm sorry.
Hey, if you like your job, it works not so bad. Do you like your job?
Yeah, work can be fun sometimes. Unfortunately, working 7 days a week. Yeah, that doesn't...
That sounds less fun.
yeah. I'm sorry. I feel your pain. Sort of.
Except you don't work 7 days a week.
Right. I can feel it without doing it.
I sympathize. I think that's where sympathy comes in.
Sympathification.
Bummer. That is a bummer. Man.
Weekend plans. Rendering a large project. Kids at Scouts, so we get to sleep in on Sunday.
Nice. Sounds like a win.
Exciting. Like that. Are you planning streams with architectural models?
Actually, so our plan next week, as of now, we're going to plan on modeling. It's not strictly architectural, but we're going to model a deck. So I'm going to put a deck on my house, and well, not put the actual deck on. We're going to model the deck on the house. So you guys come by and help me design that. That would be awesome.
Enjoying the sun and some 3D modeling. Ooh, nice. Best of both worlds.
That's right. You get a laptop onto the beach, you got it made.
And having some mojitos, for sure. Oh, gosh. Nice refreshing mojito? Oh, my gosh. That sounds...
We're actually going to have nice weather here. I'm kind of excited about that because we've had some not nice weather lately.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty excited about not having snow this weekend.
getting more towards the summer months where we're located, certainly. Northern Hemisphere. Yeah, I got some birthday parties, it sounds like.
That's
Gosh.
good then.
Yeah. Hey, parties always great. Celebrating another year, another trip around the old sun. So. Enjoying the air conditioning. Ooh, that's nice too. I'm definitely more of an indoor person. I can get outdoors, you know, but I like the cool, crisp air of conditioned air.
AC. Good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
What the? There we go. All right. Solid. There we go. Solid. No, what? What? You're ruining my big reveal here thing. Whatever it is that's causing this problem.
Are you going to use John Brock's modeling techniques? You could come up with a material cost at the end of the live stream.
That could definitely happen. All right, so I got 3 solids right now. I fixed a couple of faces. Solid. Oop, that must have been one of the ones that fixed.
I think your initial 30-minute time frame is winding down quickly.
10 minutes? I can finish this bumper in 10 minutes. Front bumper. Back end's got to take care of itself. You're on your own, backs. Oh, there we go. Check that out. But yeah, maybe I'll. John's a giving guy. Maybe he'll hook us up with a
Estimator for SketchUp.
estimator for us. But to be honest, I will probably keep it a little simpler than that. Because honestly, this deck's not going to be insanely complex. But I do want to track how many pieces of what are in there. So we'll be definitely, something will happen as far as tracking materials and coming up with a high-end estimate of what it'll take to make the deck. And as we have hours to do it, I think we'll probably end up with a much more elaborate deck than I'll actually build on my house, but, you know, it's good to dream.
You can do like a slide or something in there. Or some kind
Ooh, I like that.
jungle gym.
Start the idea list.
I always thought of myself
News.
as an idealist. How about,
That
this
was
is another
really
suggestion.
good when you did that.
How about texturing badly textured 3D warehouse models in a future stream? It's like sort of retexturing or...
Yeah, we talked about, oh, son of a gun. I think I just joined too much stuff together. Where'd you come from? Get out. All right, there we go. We talked about doing the live stream around materials earlier, which I think that would be pretty cool. I think that would be a fun thing to take a look at.
Simple component-based estimating works pretty well on spreadsheets, or with spreadsheets. Yeah, maybe something we can do if we don't get the estimator up and running.
Yeah, we do generate reports pretty quickly and easily. That's a nice option to have. For some reason, this thing is not coming out as a solid. Not sure why. I have some suspicions.
Does it have anything to do with those weird, like, polygons on the front? The like those things?
Maybe. I think that I have some issues here with, I'm going to grab this. I'm going to go turn on joint push pull and add some more depth to it and see if that fixes any of it.
Watch Chernobyl mini doc, or is it a mini doc or mini series on HBO? Have you heard anything about that?
No.
I heard it was cool and creepy.
I was going to say that sounds... Woo! That could be a rough one.
Definitely one to watch for sure.
All right, if I clean this up, then will you be happy?
What will the scale of this project be? Are you doing it to a specific scale, or are you just kind of scaling the whole thing down to like...
I was going to scale the whole thing down to a
long?
couple inches long.
Whatever fits on the build plate, probably,
exactly.
right?
Yeah, I'm not going to... Again, we're modeling... This model is really pretty close to like full size. So... Why are you saying it's good? All right, I'm going to explode it. I'm going to make it a component. Let's see if that...
Top 10 must-have SketchUp plugins. Yeah, that's a
I
good...
like that.
Sounds like a good blog title or something. Yeah, I know Justin Geis of SketchUp Essentials has a couple of those kind of videos on the old YouTube channel there, so you can check that out for suggestions on best plugins.
Yeah, I'll say that so every once in a while we try to hit extensions every once in a while. There's so many out there though, it's kind of hard for us to keep you guys up to date on everything that's available. But we'll do an extension inspection video once a month or something like that. Justin though, man, he cranks out videos. If you guys aren't subscribed to SketchUp Essentials and you're on YouTube, you should go check it out, because the stuff that he covers, he looks into stuff that he goes way deeper into our extensions than we have time to as well. Great channel, and he does a great job, of explaining how extensions work. So definitely check that out. All right, so I'm gonna explode these two together. I'm gonna intersect their faces together. Intersect their faces together.
Can't figure out what is this. What he's working on right now is the bumper of a Jeep. The whole thing is a Jeep. So yeah, it'll be a Jeep Rubicon, I think it is, for 3D printing.
We're almost there. So close. Don't delete too much. Nope, still connected somewhere. No. Delete.
Yes, this is SketchUp Pro 2019 is the version that Aaron's using. Yeah, weld, cleanup, solid inspector, bevel. I don't know if I've ever heard of just straight bevel. Have you heard of that?
No, is that an extension?
I think so.
I have not heard of something called just bevel. Not to say it doesn't exist. Like I said, it's really hard to keep on top of extensions. I hear typing. I'm assuming that means Matt is looking.
I looked up bevel and it came up with round corner. So perhaps that's like a setting on round corner that will.
Yes, you
Just
can.
do
You can choose.
Bevel there.
Bevel is one of the settings on round corner, or on Fredo corner. Excuse me. Used to be called round corner. Now it's called Fredo corner.
Ooh. You mean Shado corner?
I'm not calling it that. All right.
I refuse.
I have the front bumper done in less than half an hour.
Wow.
Hey,
You said that at 2:50
before 3. How's that?
before 3 hours.
Wow, man. Tough crowd. Tough crowd.
No, I think you did a great job.
All right, so
Now we're getting to the mocking part of the stream.
That's right. Welcome to the attitude. All right, I'm gonna bring this out. It's just a skoosh. All right, this is where I would probably, and this is important. We'll touch on this and then we'll wrap this for today. But what I want to do is make sure that all these pieces connect together real good. So this is where I would come in. I'd probably come into this piece right here, pull this back, pull this piece up, something like that. I'll have to clean it up against itself. So I'm to intersect, again, a lot of intersecting. Intersect with itself. And I may actually be able to just use Solid Inspector to clean it up. Look at that. Boom. And then that, see that piece, then that whole thing can just intersect directly with this. So I can take that.
Could you use solid tools or are they both solids?
New.
That's okay.
So I'll just explode it. And this will actually be pretty easy because this is basically a cube right here. That is intersecting with, well, I'm just going to grab it all. Is intersecting with these two faces. And all I have to do is go inside and, like, I think I have to delete 2 lines to clean that up. This line here, this line here. Oh, no, I had to get the edges gone too. But yeah, with that, everything's now connected together. So again, I can at this point, I don't have the rear bumper on there, I know, but Matt wouldn't let me. Sorry, guys.
I'll take the blame.
All right. Solid Inspector, let's see what we got. A couple of stray edges, interior faces. So I may go back in and get the rear bumper on before I really send this to the printer, but the step to do at this point would be to take this. I'm gonna make a copy of it. I always try to maintain my original if I can. Grab that and then start scaling down. So I can arbitrarily just start scaling it down, or if I know a dimension that I want to use. So like I was saying, say I wanted to be 3 inches, and grab the front here, hold down Shift, so to uniformly scale and start dragging back like this. And then I can release both the button and the Shift key and type 3 inches and hit Enter. And what that did is it scaled uniformly the whole thing together so that the front handle to the back handle is exactly 3 inches. So that means whatever the furthest out point on the front is, so that's somewhere around here, to the furthest point on the back, that's here-ish, is going to be 3 inches. So obviously if I wanted to go in and do more work, if I wanted to add that rear bumper or I wanted to modify, go put my hubs back in, I would want to work on the full-size version, not the miniature version. This is going to run instantly into that small edge limitation where you can't deal with little teeny details. But what I would do with this now is take it, export 3D model, and we're going to export it as an STL file.
And it had options there. Are the options important for when you're 3D printing, or?
Yeah, let's look at what those are. So if I go in here,
Oh, it's pretty simple.
export only current selection, that's what's turned on. File format, I've always left it as binary. So sometimes, depending on the printer you're printing to, I never worry about swapping the XY coordinates because I like to use my slicer to orient the model on the build plate anyhow, so I never really get too hung up on what that says. But model units, sometimes you do have to force this to the right unit. So depending on the printer, you might want to force that to millimeters and export that. And then what I will do is, like I said, I think I'm going to print this on the Formlabs printer. So get that cool, high detail resin printed model. But I was just thinking, I don't think I have, oh, I do, freeform. Okay. So we'll take a look at that. We'll create a file that we can print. And then we'll call this a day.
Does that inch scale work if you have components embedded within the selection?
All I was scaling was the container. So it doesn't matter what's inside of it. I'm telling the outside, the whole container, be this big. So it doesn't matter if the inside of this was millimeters, feet, yards, can't do yards, meters, none of that matters. Okay, good. Apparently I have not used this since I got this computer. So that's good to know.
The treads on the tires are too small for the 3D print? Yeah, I don't know.
They're going to be small. I'll print this at fairly high definition. So we'll see. We'll bring it in. You guys will see exactly how it turns out. So I'm going to come in here. I'm going to open desktop Jeep STL. It's going to bring it in. It does its own little thing there. Oh, look at it, so cute. All right. So I'm going to, so one of the things, and I don't want to spend too much time on this because this is Formlabs software, so I don't want to beat this to death, but it's going to orient it in the direction it sees being best. That's gnarly. If you ever end up in this position in a Jeep, something went wrong.
Sometimes they have those like upside down stickers, that are like, if you can read this, flip me over or something like that.
I'm going to maybe take this and scale it a little bit larger. Ooh. Oh yeah, that's good stuff. And then I'm going to generate support based on the default settings.
Does it show the support? I haven't used one of these in a while.
Yeah, this is pretty cool software. So this is specific. This isn't a third-party application. This is the specific slicing software for the Formlabs printers, and it has all the stuff built in there, depending resin information, that kind of thing. But it'll actually go through, like I said, it'll orient it to the way that it's going to print best, and then it'll actually automatically create. Basically, it's a tree kind of thing that's going to come up and support it. It does take a little bit of time, so this is the part where I'll just keep talking and watching the little bar slowly slide across the screen. Woo, big jump.
Nice.
Real
quick. It's 3 a.m. in India. I'm awake to watch the stream because I love it. Ooh.
And we love hearing that.
Yeah. Thanks for watching.
All right, so that is how it will print. And again, because this is a resin printer, it actually pulls out of a pool of resin, so it prints that upside down. So this is the top, and the whole thing prints this direction, which is really cool. So yeah, so that got our STL of our Jeep, the Jeep we pulled off 3D Warehouse a couple hours ago, made it solid, and it is ready, just about ready to print. So like I said, I'll probably get the back bumper on, but I will, assuming everything goes according to plan, which, that happens all the time, I should have a printed 3D model of this Jeep to show you guys next time we're on air live. So next Friday we will model a deck. We will put all the materials in. We'll keep track of what we're going to make it out of. I need your guys' suggestions. So show up with your thoughts about what awesome decks look like. Also, got any thoughts on materials, that kind of stuff? I'd love to hear that too. show up and we'll do that. We'll throw a deck on a house and it will be awesome, no question about it. So that kind of, we're there. We made it. We made it to here.
Yeah, I think that's good progress.
It's a terrible place to be if you're actually in a Jeep, though.
Because you would actually be upside down and inside of a resin.
That's true. That would be rough. But yeah, I'm interested too. That's a good question to see how much detail the printer can keep for that right there. That'll be fun.
Deck like a backyard wooden support deck. Where you
I don't know another term other than deck. Yeah, not a part of a ship.
like a patio, but a deck.
Yeah, a patio made of wood. Isn't a patio made of like rock or
Brick or something?
Yeah, concrete.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's probably an official term somewhere.
A wooden patio.
A wooden outdoor floor.
Wooden
Something along those lines.
Yeah.
Dock. A dock is an O.
Ah.
A deck is an E. I don't know sign language.
What was this?
This is an O. It looks like an E to me. See, look, see? See, got it. E.
Yeah, it looks like one.
Sounds like Friday afternoon.
Friday.
Friday. Okay. So yeah, again, if you guys have other ideas, like I said, that's probably what we'll do, but we're always looking for more ideas. So if you have other ideas that are things that you think would be good to show, specific workflows, specific industries worth looking into, or just specific things you would like to see modeled, let us know. You can let us know here right now. You can let us know on the video once it's posted on YouTube, or you can actually just message us through Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, LinkedIn, Google+. Forums. Actually, yeah, scratch everything I said. Come to our forums, forums.sketchup.com. Not that I'm trying to get people in there, but it's a great spot for you guys because if you have questions, there's people there to answer them. And if you have answers, it's a great place for you to share your knowledge. So yeah, check out the forums. I know. I kind of said that tongue in cheek when I said Google+, because not so much. Yeah, it was kind of funny. For a while there, they recommended that for YouTube purposes, you should be on Google Plus also. In fact, YouTube accounts are still tied to Google Plus accounts. So I don't know how that works, but and printing. We did model the Game of Thrones, the Iron Throne from Game of Thrones, or we created a model inspired by the Game of Thrones throne.
Yeah.
It was not a perfect representation, but it got the point across.
I thought it was good.
It's not so much 3D printable, I don't think. It is on 3D Warehouse, so if you want to give a shot at it, be my guest. Go for it.
Hashtag best throne ever. You clean it up and print it, and then take a photo of it, and then send us the photo.
I mean, yeah, if you do anything with any of these models we post, we'd love to see it. So, yeah, get on the forums or just tag us, let us know. Love seeing that kind of stuff. But yeah, it's up there. We did actually, I still have a window open, so I can show not necessarily the one that we did, but I'll show the render that somebody did of ours up on our forums. Let's go. Go to happenings.
And you're a big forum head. If people want more of you, they should go to the forums.
I try to spend time on the forums as much as I possibly can. So yeah, if you maybe I don't know where this is. Oh, modeling live on Twitch. It's in this one. Nope. Okay, maybe I don't know where it is here. We'll just go back over here. And oh man. So that was what we created in the live stream.
Kind of.
Well, that was it. That was actually the model we created.
Yeah. It looks like it could be printable.
Yeah, but it's I know it's I mean, go for it. It would be some work. But yeah, it was a fun model. It turned out kind of cool. So yeah, and I've been trying to catch up, guys. So I did put the last couple models. I put the steam engine up there. That was completed. I did finish that if you were here last week. We did run out of time. It was a lot of pieces. It's over 40 different separate pieces that are each modeled, put into their own component, but everything lines up, everything's workable. You could theoretically make these pieces and have a working steam engine, so that's kind of cool. Other steam engine. And then I did make a slight modification to the Iron Man mask. I did change the front just a little bit, but that's uploaded as well. So this is not the 3D printable one. There's not depth to it. This is just the final shell of the mask. So trying to, and unfortunately, this dude's still up there as well. Oh, gosh. Good stuff. Good stuff. That's
That was probably my favorite one.
that was definitely. That's something too. That was our AMTMA. Asked me to model anything. Let us know if you guys like that idea. If you're interested in us doing something like that again, it was fun. It was kind of sporadic. We were all over the place. Mobius strip, rocket, human face, tree, a bug. So yeah, that's what we did. It was good, but yeah. Yes, I didn't upload the pirate ship though. You're right. I have to go back and grab that. I don't think I had anything else to do on that. I'll upload that as well. Yeah, well, that's us. I think we're there. We're so close to the end of the day. So I hope everybody enjoyed that. Thanks for coming by. Thanks for hanging out with us, especially you maniacs in other countries where it's after midnight and you're hanging out with us. That's awesome.
Bonkers.
Thank you very much.
Cool. Yeah.
Flattered. But yeah, that's it for now. So thanks.
Yeah. Thanks for watching and have a great weekend, everybody.
Yeah. See you guys next week.